Said, remember the stereotype. No, no, no. Not today. I'm not late. Whoop, whoop. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Good morning. A merry morning. A merry morning to all of you. How you guys doing? Coffee and mints, worst combination ever. Saw somebody said that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really, 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 really appreciate it. We are getting into some stuff today. We're going to be showing Baron Coleman some love on the show today. And I don't mean we're going to be, talking about how good he looks for his age. We're not going to be doing that type of love. It's going to be real love because he, well, first off, somebody, I should actually shout this person out by name. I should be good enough to do it. Skylar's been good enough to give me some timestamps, some highlights of Baron's episodes, because I can't go through them all every single day. But Skylar came through. Thank you so much, Skylar. I know you watch these afterwards. She watches my show, then watches Baron's show. She has a lot on her plate. Thank you so much, Skylar. I really, really appreciate it. And we're going to talk a little bit about some things that he uncovered. I didn't know there was an interview with Andrew Colvat. I didn't know that went down, that he sat down with that guy from the New York Times. I had no idea. So we're going to be talking about that. But of course, I'm not going to sit here and act. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and act like Candace didn't blow up the internet. I mean, for those of you that don't have X, just thank your lucky stars. You don't need it. I mean, what happened on X as soon as she dropped this video trailer, I don't know if you guys know about this, The Bride of Charlie, which I've heard is a play. It's a little bit of a double entendre kind of thing, because it's actually a play on The Bride of Chucky, which, if you've seen that movie, if you've seen that whole series, Chucky in general, that is actually hilarious, if that's what she meant to do. But let's just run through what we're going to talk about here today really quick, guys. We're just going to talk about, I should really talk about that 33 with the ice shooting. I should really look into that. I should talk about that. I'm going to show you the mini Mint Daddy, the Mint Daddy Mini. Then we're going to talk about what Candace did. And we're going to talk about all the attacks that just ran through. Graham Allen is now calling for people to be doxxed who don't like Erika, which is a very fun thing. Somebody else did it. They took it down because they realized that their whole X channel could get taken down. Your YouTube channel can get completely nuked. You're not supposed to dox people. You're not supposed to call for your audience to dox people. That's kind of what got Balix Tones in trouble. But Graham just doesn't know those type of things, just not as smart as Gary. Not the highest bar, but he's still not meeting it. So he's doing that type of stuff. There's a whole bunch of people attacking Candace. They're mad at Megan once, of course. Then we're going to touch on Lionel a little bit. Lionel actually sees what's going on perfectly. Again, I love his X feed. I mean, I don't see his videos all the time, but I love looking at what he has to say on X. Really, really wise guy. Then, of course, we're going to go through the Baron moments that Skylar was good enough to give me. And also a Baron bad at, I'm not going to say the word. Baron has a really cool moment when somebody tries to call him out on his live stream. I just found it so interesting. I'll play the last little bit of it. Baron really steps up there. And then Gary loses it. Gary, Paramount Tactical, the official Curly. It was unofficial Curly before. It's official now, he like loses it on his live stream, going back and forth with Project Constitution. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, you don't have to read the messages. You don't have to do that. It was so weird to watch. Then, obviously, we're going to break away from the investigation a little bit, because I like to do that in the second half. We're going to talk about Grok being used in the Pentagon and why that's bad for all of us who love Grok. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Pete Hegseth and, the overall distraction that they're trying to put forth. And then we're going to talk about Redacted Jeff and all the things that are happening in the UK, Norway, and also Thomas Massey speaks on some stuff. And then Tucker Carlson replacing Charlie Kirk, I think, and visiting the White House to talk to Orange Prez about some stuff. My screen is frozen. Okay, now we're good. Let's jump right into the meme bag, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you guys are here. I mean, this happens so quick. I mean, check this out.
Don't make me angry. I wear key lime green when I'm angry. Don't make me angry. I wear key lime green when I'm angry.
I apologize. I didn't realize. Our apologies from the show. From the show to Baron. We did not realize that happens when you get angry. I mean, people are so quick with it. Lisi, I'm pretty sure that's how I was told to pronounce it. She shows off the latest Mint Daddy fashion show. The latest model, I mean, a little Mint Daddy mini for the ladies and gentlemen out there. I mean, check it out. I mean, so cute. Just so cute, you know? The horse as well, very nice, very stylish. A mint adorning the hat, very, very nice. Thank you so much. Mint Daddy Mini, Ben Shapiro. Great to see you. And of course, I got to do a Fleet episode. I mean, just a real quick clip. It's just me. That's just me. Look, I just grabbed my pen. Look at that. That's just me. That's amazing. Anyway, let's play this. I found this one really funny. So right now she's bringing Andrew into it, and Andrew's looking at the phone just like, he's like, what? He's like, what? He's like, Tyler, get off me. God, he's just, they're just in bed together, Mikey McCoy's getting coffee. He's coming. Oh, Fleet, come on. The choker? I mean, come on. You didn't have to do Mikey like that. The choker, killing it though. Look at the walk on Mikey. Now they're just in bed together, Mikey McCoy's getting coffee. He's coming in, and he's just like, "What's going on? What's going on right now?" Race. Oh man. Yeah, it's Candace. Somebody's saying something about her race. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I want to quit so bad, man. I just wish I wasn't a handler. I hate being a handler like this, man. And now we got to handle Erika, and this is just terrible, man. And now they're handling Erika, and Erika's just always asking for sparkles and stuff. And she's just like, guys, I need sparkles. And I can't remember what happened in the years of my life. Does anybody know where my memories are? I don't understand. Stacey Sheridan just keeps erasing her memories, Anyway, thank you so much, Fleet. Really, really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. I mean, come on. And Fleet reminded me, of course, I have to let you guys know. And you know what? I'm actually on the YouTube channel. Usually I'm on X when it comes to Fleet. This is the YouTube channel, in case you do not know, guys. It is AD Fleet. Hit 22,000 subscribers. Wow. It is going up. This is amazing. Just amazing to see stuff like this happen. I mean, I'm telling you, I talk about it with myself all the time. She could become the next Mike Judge. Was it Judge or Judge or Drudge? The guy who made King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead. You just never know. You have no idea. Could easily become that. And Fleet has also reminded me that I actually have to tell everybody, because Lance would be pissed with me if I didn't tell everybody about the Clips channel. You guys know there's a Clips channel. Please check it out. Hit that subscribe button. We don't even have as many subscribers as Fleet does. I mean, we have almost 500 videos. Go and check it out, guys. Just great stuff going on there. For all you short form Sallies, go and hit that subscribe button over there. You will not be disappointed. Now let's get to what Candace was talking about, guys. I think it's about time. And, just to say again for Fleet, I mean, I love the saga of Mikey and Tyler and Andrew in a thruple. I mean, those guys in a thruple is just fantastic. I mean, you know what there should be? This might be an old show concept for a lot of people, but you could do Three's Company, okay? So Mikey McCoy would be the blonde lady, right? Okay. Tyler could be Jack Tripper, or he could be the brunette girl that's in there. And those three just working it, And Rob McCoy's the landlord. He's that old landlord that would come and be like, "What are you guys doing over here?" Oh man, that'd be great. Some people don't even know about Three's Company. Okay, anyway. Some people are too old for Three's Company. I mean, let's just jump in. Candace made this. Candace did not go live. Oh, I guess we should talk about that too, right? I guess a lot of you know, maybe some of you don't, because you pick up recaps and whatnot. Candace did not go live yesterday. Everybody was waiting. Everybody was like, what's going on right now? And then at about 5:30 EST, she drops this video and it's just titled Coming Soon. That's it. She leaves it at that. She puts in the description that this is premiering, and that's it. Wow, like very basic. She puts in the fact that it's premiering on February 25th, and I guess it's gonna run until Friday. Till Friday, if Erika's lucky. If it goes from Wednesday to Friday and then into next week, maybe not as long as Brigitte. That is what she said originally. She's like, we're not going to go as long as Brigitte, but we are going to make a series. And this is what it was. Check it out, guys.
That Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye.
That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erika Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
We are conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm gonna touch your butt. $8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
They had nothing to hide. My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine seeing that? Erika just watches the whole thing. She's just putting on sparkles. Ah! Ah! What is this? Ah! Here in the other room, you hear Andrew Colvett. Ah! Mikey McCoy just walks away. He just plugs his ears. He's just walking away down the hall. Everybody's just like, what's happening? I thought we were suing her. What happened? I don't understand. We sent the letter. There was a contract. She violated it. What do we do? What's happening? I thought we were suing her. The lawyer's like, I thought you send the letter and then they stop. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Everybody's just freaking out. I don't think they're just dramatic, just like that trailer, dramatic. I don't think there's any amount of pyrotechnics that are going to stop this from happening. You know, absolutely crazy. I don't know how they would react to this. I'd imagine they'd be pissed. But you know, I don't know why Turning Point doesn't just afford Candace the same thing and just say, well, everyone grieves differently. Some people grieve by making a whole investigative series on Erika Kirk. That's how some people grieve. And that should be in the realm. That's fine. No, isn't that fine? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a very, very, very wild series that's about to drop. And again, you know, I'll touch on it as I go through the attacks, but Lionel kind of touches on something, but I'll wait to get to Lionel. What does Lionel say? Oh, this is what he says. I was going to play this at the end, but why not show this now? Lionel says this. He goes, wait until you see what Erika's next plans are. You won't believe it. Now that I found interesting. He said this right around the time that the thing came, actually a couple of hours after it came out. He says this. And I just wonder what he knows. He clearly knows something. I don't know if he's in communication with Candace. I have no idea. But, I mean, he was in the trailer there. although you don't have to notify people when they're in the trailer or anything. I don't know why I wasn't in the trailer. I should have been in the trailer. Been like, mints. No, I don't hit the dramatic tone. I don't meet the dramatic tone of what she was going for there. Believe it or not, guys, some people think I'm a bit immature. I don't know what they mean. But they feel that way. But incredible series is about to drops on Wednesday, and the attacks are rolling in. They're rolling in. Now, this is where, like, again, this is doxing. Like, what he's calling for is doxing. And he's trying to, I think he feels like, well, if Holy Spirit tells me, because I'm a good Christian, which I don't even know if he's Christian. He doesn't really look Christian to me, quite honestly. But I'm a good Christian, so I should be able to request this. So now he is saying, I'm coming for everyone responsible for Candace Owens' demonic attack against Erika Kirk and her children. Didn't mention the children, but fine. Her husband, her team, her donors, and even her sponsors. You are all to blame. To the friends of Charlie Kirk who refused to speak, I'm coming for you as well. So that's what he is saying. So he's looking to find out who all these people are. You're really, really not allowed to do that. That is, like, all jokes aside, you're not. So again, I'm not even joking. That's what got Balax in trouble. Balax didn't even call for that to happen. And it happened, and they blamed him, and they sued him for $14 billion quintillion. My apologies. So they sued him into infinity. So you have to really watch out with what you're doing here, Graham, because if somebody went and tried to find the donors and tried to find an address and God forbid did something, you would be solely to blame for that. So you should really think about what you're doing when you do something like this. I mean, this is the exact type of energy that got Orange Prez in the situation with Thomas Matthew Crooks. Now, aside from the whole intel operation and they really meant to take him out, I mean, if you just go with the official narrative, you keep calling somebody evil, demonic, eventually someone's going to go, well, I should probably do something about the evil demonic person. There's a real evil? There's somebody who's Satan and Mussolini mixed? Huh? Maybe I should do something. It could lead to really bad stuff. That's why I like to joke around, Graham. You know, Graham's going to learn very slowly. He's not good at this whole online thing.
Hello, everyone. We're getting ready to do the show here in about an hour. We're getting ready to go all in against the evil that is Candace Owens. It's not enough to combat the demonic attacks that she is doing against Erika Kirk, Charlie's widow, and his children. I want to know who's funding it. I want to know if George Farmer is behind it. I want to know who's editing it. I want to know who her team is. I want to know who is responsible for continuing this evil. Because here's the thing. Candace Owens is going to get the wife and possibly even the children of Charlie Kirk hurt. And someone has to stop it. Someone has to fight against it. And to all of you cowards that called Charlie your friend, that simply used him to boost your own career, you disgust me.
It's crazy because he's using Charlie to boost his own career. And he's saying to the rest of them, hey, the fact that you're not doing it too is just terrible. It's very, very odd. There's no way, right? I'll make jokes about Gary. There's no way you can be an operator. And apparently he was like National Guard. I don't know the full extent of his service, but there's no way you could be an operator and be super dumb. Like, you could be a little bit like not with it in certain things, but you have to know what you're doing. They teach you about stuff like this. They really do. So he has to know what he's doing when he says all of this. He has to understand these tactics. He has to. I understand. I'm a high school dropout. I understand the tactics. I read books. I've seen Saul Alinsky's books. I know exactly what he's doing here. I know exactly what this leads to. I mean, I don't know. Just so weird. So weird. And yeah, I read books. I know it doesn't seem like it by the way I pronounce everything. I know. But I know, but I do. I promise. Kind of. A lot of times. Only important stuff. But yeah, that's what Graham's doing. He's calling for the identities of people, and then he's going to try and shame them. That is also referred to as a struggle session. You can look that up if you want. Again, it is a known tactic. This is what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And again, definitely making a career out of what he is building his career off of this. He got to speak at AmFest. For those of you that don't know, he got to speak at AmFest. Why? He got to speak at AmFest, and now he's doing this, and he's acting like there's no connection between Turning Point and himself. There's obviously some kind of connection. You're getting to the point where you're trying to hunt people down, and you're saying you're just doing it for free because somebody's evil and demonic. I want to know if her husband's behind it. It's her husband. What are you talking about? If he makes all the money, which he doesn't because it's Candace, I mean, obviously not. But even if he made all the money, you can't be like, you're financing this? That's like someone coming after my wife. Hey, is he financing you? Yeah, that's how that works, actually. Married. What? What are you talking about? Who financed all this stuff here? I did. Who finances all those memberships that keep getting given out by... is her husband behind this? Oh, man. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. But also not a funny guy. When you start trying to dox people, you're not a funny guy. That you're a big problem at that point. He should not be doing this. And then somebody tagged me and they're like, should we be worried? I don't work for Candace, and stop tagging me in the things with Graham Allen. Okay. I'm not trying to get into a back and forth with Graham Allen. I don't want to do that. I already got into a back and forth with his mini-me. Okay. I already got into back and forth with Gary. People who do that, you're trying to antagonize. You're tagging me in their thing. I know what you're doing. And then I look and it's like, oh, they've only been following me for 20 minutes. I know what you're doing. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Unless you're like from Pakistan or something, then, make your money. Make your money. I can't fault you on that. You make a few dollars over here, you're getting a whole bunch of money over there. So I get it. It's cool. Anyway, Candace ends up actually responding to not just Graham, but there was somebody else. This guy on X, his name's Bren. And he kind of did the same thing. He deleted it, actually. He got rid of the post right away, probably because he realized what he was doing. But he said the exact same thing where he wanted to know, and it's funny, they're saying the same thing in unison, pretty much posted hours within each other. But they're saying the exact same thing. And I guess he realized, I can't really do that. I can't really just ask for people to find out who all of the people working for her are, because that could lead down a really bad road. But Candace did respond before he got to delete it. And she said this, because they were saying who made this video. They're like, you have to find the person who made this trailer. And Candace was like, you guys really can't comprehend how normal people function outside of billion-dollar corporations with million-dollar budgets. I picked the music for the trailer on Friday. I made the edits at my kitchen table with my editor on Saturday. Did minor tweaks this morning on audio adjustments. And the idea of anyone writing for me is just plain offensive. But you might find out who wrote Erika's memorial speech if you tune in. Oh man, this series is gonna be wild. Somebody wrote the speech. I think everybody, you knew that, no? You guys had to have known somebody wrote her speech for her, right? I mean, they had to. I don't know. I don't know her as a person, but I just assume like she's basically a politician, and politicians just do that. That's just what they do. Just everything's fake when you look at a politician. I don't care who it is. It's always all fake, Even, do you know the thing when they point in the crowd? You ever seen that? Where a politician comes out and they go, like, that's just a thing they're told to do. There's no one they're pointing at. There's no, they don't know anybody. So why are they doing that? It's just a thing. They're just told to do it. They're meat puppets. They're meat puppets. And they're just like, it's just, okay, dance, monkey, dance, get out there. And they're like, okay. That's it. That's all it is. So she does the exact same thing. So I would think somebody wrote her speech for her. I mean, when you really figure out how much of it is fake, I mean, MLK definitely, he really felt the words he was reading, but even somebody wrote that I have a dream speech. You know that? I'm not making that up. There's a dude that wrote that, and maybe they co-wrote it together. You know, I was actually watching a reality show. Okay. Millionaire Makeover. It was Millionaire Matchmaker show. One of the guys was a speechwriter for Obama. He wrote all of Obama's speeches, and he was just on the show. And he's like, yeah, this speech I wrote. He talked about all the speeches he wrote for Obama. We just assume that they're writers too, you know? We assume they know a lot of things. They don't. They're just people at the end of the day. But I guess Candace is going to be exposing who wrote it. How could Candace possibly know? Oh man, it goes so deep. I mean, the people, the quote unquote moles, the leaks at Turning Point have to be vast. I would be surprised if it's just one person. It's probably dozens of people. I mean, that girl, Aubrey, who got fired and then made that video, she had to be one of many. I mean, her husband or her fiance also got fired. He felt the same way. That's two people right there. Do you think there's not 10 in one of the largest organizations in America? You think there's not 100, 200? There's probably a lot of people who are willing to leak stuff. Candace also bit back with this right here. She said, somebody said they ended up replying to this and said, we are all going to watch this. Erika Kirk is the most bizarre person, bizarre figures since Charles Manson. And then Candace says, funny you should mention him, actually. Where is this series going? I think I know where it's going. Oh, I don't even have the notes here with me. Did my kid take my notes? Oh, here it is. Here is my Mortal Kombat Ultra notes. And I was comparing Lance Twiggs to Manson because they both had this crazy writing. It was just nuts and looked weird. And it just was very odd the way they would both like scribble on papers and stuff. But I guess Erika's taking it. I guess Candace is taking it there with Erika. So we'll see what that looks like. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. Because I have a good feeling. I think there's going to be, especially for me, making episodes for all of us who like make the videos, for you guys that watch avidly, there's probably going to be some stuff that we already knew. Probably, right? Like as we talk about the pageant world and, you know, just little things that we've all uncovered and read about. But I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we don't know about. And I'm really excited for the China part. She said that she's going to delve in to when Erika was in China and the organization, it's basically like a Romanian Angels thing. From what I can gather, I don't know for sure. It sounds like it's a Romanian Angels thing, but in China. So, just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, if at the end of this series, Candace connects Erika to Redacted Jeff, I'm going to lose it. Okay? I'm going to be watching live and I'm going to tear my shirt off. I'm going to tear my shirt and my hat off and my headphones. I mean, and my watch. Throw my pen out the window. I mean, I'm going to go off if she connects Erika to Redacted Jeff. She might. Who knows? Who knows? It's starting to sound that way, honestly. Anyway, let's keep on going here. We have Graham, of course. We're just going to roll through the attacks really quick. Graham, of course. He's like, I'm convinced Candace Owens is a demon. Graham's just like, I'm convinced. Yeah, I can't really talk about what convinced me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm absolutely convinced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Candace Owens has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Has to be an actual demon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm kidding. He does it for truth and justice. He's a good man. That's why he does everything like this. Anyway. Another one from Graham. To all the Candace cultists saying it's a coordinated paid attack. Oh, I feel attacked here. Oh my gosh. Is he speaking directly to me? It's the Holy Spirit that dwells within real Christians, identifying and fighting back against the demonic that dwells within Candace Owens. Okay, sure. It's the Holy Spirit. Always, and this This seems like a turning point tactic, always attaching, and a lot of people in organized religion do this, connecting your agenda to God, right? I mean, we really see what he's trying to pull off here. No, it's the Holy Spirit. So no, this is not, it has nothing to do with any type of incentive. It's all about God himself touching upon us, because we are real Christians. And those that don't fight against Candace and don't say things against Candace, well, you're not a real Christian and you're siding with the demonic. That's how this whole thing goes. It's funny. I never do this. I could do this with Graham. I could be like, this guy seems like he's possessed. I could say he seems evil. I could say all that stuff. I could say my discernment tells me that there's something not good inside of him. I could say I could see it in his eyes. I could say I could see it from the fact that he's always wearing a low hat and he's always trying to cover his eyes. And whenever he talks, he covers his eyes when he's in interviews, and he always looks down when he's trying to talk about things. I could say all that. I could say it's coming to me from God, but I don't go there. I don't go there. And I don't do that purposely, because I don't think you should just go there out of nowhere. That's not what you're supposed to, your discernment is not supposed to be put on a spotlight for everyone to see. That is between you and God, and then you move accordingly, which is away from whatever the discernment is telling you is bad. It's not supposed to be something that you put out there for everyone to see, and you try to manipulate them into seeing things the way you see it. That's not how discernment works. Discernment is just for you. That's what that is. It's just for you. It's the feeling you get. It's just for you, and that's it. But I never take it there. I could easily. I could take it there with Ben Shapiro. I could take it there with Graham. I could take it there with Gary. I could be like, they have gerbil eyes. They have these dark eyes. Their eyes are just they're just weird people. I could do that. I could call them evil. I could call them demonic. I could do that, but I never do, because I don't think you're supposed to take you're not supposed to move things towards that place. Yeah, exactly. It's like a fake Christian, man. That's fake virtue signaling Christians. And just months ago, before Prez Orange took office, everybody who was on the right, who was a conservative Christian person, they knew that virtue signaling was bad. They would call out the left all the time. Oh, all those people do is virtue signal. All they do is virtue signal. And now the right is calling for virtue signaling. And they're shaming people who are not willing to virtue signal. Dye your hair blue. Dye your hair blue and get all the nose rings and spacers you want. Anyway. Graham would look good with blue hair, actually, I can't believe I'm able to see this. Maybe it's because Candace actually. Seth blocked me so long. Am I still blocked, Seth? I'm still blocked. Okay. Yeah, Seth didn't like what I had to say. We had a little back and forth. Before all this stuff popped off, we had a back and forth, and I called him out. I feel like he's like, I won't even get into it, but I called him out on some stuff. He got pissed. He blocked me, and he has every right to. I was being a jerk to him, rightfully so. What would Charlie say about this, and what would he think about his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him? See, more of that manipulation, right? If you're not saying anything, right? You're not attacking Erika. You're not saying anything about Erika. You're just moving through life. The redacted Jeff. The files are vast and they're disgusting. Maybe you're just wrapped up in that. If you're not saying anything, well, then you have no courage, right? They're trying to align you with the thing that I want you to do. Well, that's just not a thing that I want you to do. That's what Charlie would want you to do. And if you don't do it, you have no courage whatsoever. It's the thing that they try to pull off constantly. Candace actually bit back. She said, my guess is he's thinking he should have brought me to the Hamptons. But when the story didn't add up, he knew I would outwork you filthy traitors. Jeez, Candace. Absolutely hilarious. Cat Autocrat, just round of applause. Cat Autocrat absolutely loves it. So that was Candace biting back at Seth a little bit there. Imagine if if Charlie brought her to the Hamptons, what that would be like. How crazy that would be. What are you guys doing here? Who's on the phone? Who is this? BB? What are you doing on the phone? Charlie, we have to leave. We have to leave now. BB's on the phone. This is a struggle session, Charlie. Why is your wife okay with this? She's just sitting there putting on sparkles. I'm just getting ready for the 11th, 17th, maybe. I don't know. What? I figure this is okay. You guys don't like what BB has to say? Over $150 million. You guys don't like that? Charlie, just listen to everybody here. They're all just yelling at him. You have to be better about this. Charlie, we're leaving. These people are disgusting. What are we doing here, Charlie? You know? But honestly, if he stuck with Candace, he would have never ended up in that situation, ever. Shabbos Kessenbaum, who really doesn't like Candace. Candace called him out on the show. He got really upset about that. Candace is a psychopath, married to an openly gay man in a purely transactional relationship. She's a pathological liar who's repeatedly fired for insanity. That's why she got fired? Oh, I didn't realize. And again, with the manipulation, and you're going to see this as a little common thread, anyone who doesn't openly condemn her, be it Meghan, Tucker, Jack, are not conservatives. They're complicit. You're not a Christian. You're not a conservative. You're not all the things that you are unless you do the thing that we want you to do. Very interesting. I also, I grew up around a lot of people like this. I've never heard the name Shabbos. Because you say good Shabbos, people say Shabbat, but in the hood, when you're in Crown Heights, people are saying good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. What up, my dog? Good Shabbos, bro. That's what they're saying. To have the name be Shabbos, that's very interesting. I've never seen that name before. Your name is Shabbos? That's weird. That's weird to me. I guess, whatever. I don't know. Misfit. Oh, this guy's the worst. You know what this guy's like? This guy's like Bizarro Jesse on Fire. That's what he's like. He's like the opposite of what Jesse on Fire is. I know some people, don't like Jesse's energy. I think Jesse's, I've talked to him on the phone. I've had 3-hour conversations with him. He almost cried in our conversation when he started talking about his wife. And I love a guy that loves his wife that much. So, he's cool in my books. But this guy, Misfit, is like the same energy as him, but just absolutely a terrible guy. Just really willing to say anything, really willing to attack anybody. And of course, as always, there is zero financial incentive, no incentive at all. He does it for the love of the game, just because he's a douchebag. I'd say we're about 6 months out from Candace dancing in the kitchen with knives to Kanye music. I would not hate on that, honestly. I would not hate on that. She's clearly desperate to get views after her ranking plummeted. Poor thing. Oh, man. They're still going with this. And then Gunther, of course. Gunther steps in. Gunther's just like a robot. They just put the orders in Gunther's head. He just says whatever. Whether you are a Candace fan or not, this is evil. It's so funny. Whether you're a Candace fan or not. Basically saying, whether you like this or not, this is a bad thing, whether you like it or not. Okay, cool. But yeah, her dancing in the kitchen, the Kanye music, that'd be pretty cool. He's touching on Britney Spears. If you don't know, Britney Spears was dancing with knives in her kitchen. She's doing like the 90s dance. She's like, like she's doing that whole thing. Candace doing that would be pretty cool, honestly. And I think we all know which Kanye song would be playing if she did it. I'm not going to say it. And I'm not going to say the lyrics, but I think we all know which song. I'm kidding. She loves Kanye. She'd probably play like Flashing Lights or something like that. Mark Levin, the white officer Tatum, says, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Candace is a monster. Those who defend her are monsters. Those with platforms who are silent are cowards. See, I'm telling you, it's a common theme. Now it's not enough. It's not enough that we get to actually say bad things about her, but those with platforms who aren't saying bad things, they have to be shamed. This is a tactic that has been used since, I don't know, the early 1900s throughout Europe. There's so many different instances of people trying to use these tactics, obviously all through America and Canada as well. But I mean, this is just a common thing that people try to do. They're trying to shame people into shaming Candace, right? Before it was just Megyn Kelly. Now it's just everyone. Anybody who has a platform. Like imagine a guy with a platform that's about flowers. He's just the flower guy. And Mark Levin's like, you're a coward, bro. And he's just like, huh? What? I was just making this arrangement. You're a coward. You have this platform. You haven't spoken about Candace. I don't know who Candace is. Why are you in my house? Why are you in my house right now? I can't believe you're not talking about Candace. He waddles out of there. Come on, Ben. Get on our horse. So dumb. This is the person that actually they said they made this connection, right? Obviously they hate Candace because they just don't like what Candace is doing. But they made the connection that Bride of Charlie is actually about Bride of Chucky. And the Bride of Chucky, does have those crazy eyes. So solid connect, I may not agree with them, but they made a solid connection there. I think that's what it is. She kind of does look like that a little bit, no insult. I love the Chucky series. I've been watching Chucky since I was like 5 years old. I know, another movie that I should not be watching at that age. I'm telling you, my mom made sure I had a strong constitution, that I had a thick skin. Let me watch Shawshank Redemption when I'm 7, Chucky when I'm 6. What else? Night of the Living Dead when I'm 5, Just let me watch terrible things and then scaring me after, that was parenting back in the day. That's how you did it back in the day. You made sure to scare the life out of your kids, It was all for fun. And then, of course, Frank says most husbands understand that seeing this happen to your wife, unable to protect them or comfort them, appealing to your emotions right now, it's far worse pain than being shot in the neck. Far worse pain than dying. Maybe. Unless Candace is right. If Candace is right, then, Charlie's down there like, let's go. He's grabbing Jesus right now. Let's go. Comes out on Wednesday. Let's go. Jesus is like, come on, man. We got to stop this. Come on. There's stuff to do up here. Let's go. Send me back down then. You don't want to watch it with me. Send me back down then. I'm good. They didn't even bury me yet. Just send me back down. I don't know if they buried him or not. I'm just kidding. Ali Stuckey wants people to pray for Charlie's family. That's a nice thing, Ali Stuckey's trying to be real quiet. She doesn't want any smoke with Candace. Oh, mommy sleuth, Dave Rubin. Is it true Megyn Kelly is the executive producer? Did Tucker fund this with Qatari money made off the backs of Christian slaves? Just asking questions. Those are valid questions asked. Listen, they always do this, like as if asking questions is bad. Listen, even with your very dumb questions, 100% you can ask those questions. When I first read this, I was like, is Megyn Kelly the producer? I was like, maybe she is. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool, honestly, if they all got together and they just kind of crowdsourced it, and just gathered up a bunch of money to make this series. I'd be like, that's pretty cool that they did this. Obviously not off the backs of Christian slaves, Funny that he'll say Christian slaves. He won't say any other type of slaves. We're always the butt of the joke for some reason. Funny how that works, Nobody's they're not calling anybody else fake Philadelphians, fake any other religion. There's none of that. For some odd reason. Because they know who they're trying to focus on. They know who the demographic is that they're trying to focus on, right? It's never their own people that they're talking about. They're always focusing on us. Very interesting. You're a fake Christian. I've never heard any other religion get called fake if they don't do something by these people. Funny how that works. Funny. Anyway, Dave Rubin, thanks a bunch. Dave hasn't blocked me yet. Thank God for that. Nice guy. Cat Turd, worst name on X, hands down. Just so you know, Candace is evil. She's a demon, straight out of the bowels of hell. Just the sight of her makes me gag. This is so over the top. This guy's like a 65-year-old, just like real big, fat guy who just, he looks like, you ever seen King of the Hill? He looks like Bill Dauterive. Basically, he's Bill Dauterive with a hat on. And he's like, oh, when I see Candace, it makes me gag. Come on, man. She's a pretty black chick. You're not gagging when you see her. Come on, get over yourself, you know? And then Ian steps in. You're an effing government bot. Thanks for your strong endorsement, kitty. I mean, when Ian just steps in and ratios somebody, I mean, it's just like nothing you've ever seen before. I mean, he's even done it to Elon Musk. I mean, Ian is a sniper when it comes to those ratios. He just steps in and just goes, I'm taking over your post. Hey, this is our post now. How about that? He just takes it over. Happens every single time. Of course, Gary from Paramount Tactical steps in. He doesn't have much to say, you know, not enough. You know, somebody else said, I fixed it for you. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're just melting down. And this is just a little bit. I should have been the bride of Charlie. Yeah, because that's what Candace wanted, you know. She got married to a British Ken doll, and then she was like, why aren't I married to Charlie? I wish I married Charlie, as she's getting married and Charlie's not married. I don't know. And then, of course, the struggle session continues. People are posting this picture. It's Megan with Erika, the knife in the back, that type of thing. People are asking questions. Why are Jack Posobiec and Megyn Kelly silent on Candace Owens? They haven't said anything. And this is actually going to touch on what Baron was talking about. The fact that Andrew didn't want to talk about a certain person when it came to who has the theories that are so detrimental to society nowadays. Andrew wanted no smoke whatsoever. Andrew knows better. Funny enough, Andrew was a source at one point. So it's like, why would he even want to say anything? And then this random person, Girl with a Voice. I follow you, don't I? I do. One of the many. Girl with a Voice. She says, who's attacking who now? I can't keep up. And it's just all of what you're seeing within within an hour. Just, it's been crazy. Even today when I woke up, it was just all condemn Tucker, condemn Candace, condemn Tucker, condemn Candace. That's all it was. And it's funny because when I'm on X, I look at Redacted Jeff stuff more than anything. That's what I've been looking up that's what I do. I look up Redacted Jeff stuff because I want to see what people have found. I want to see what people are looking into. I want to see if there's any arrests being made. So the algorithm knows what I want to see, but it's like, no. We have to show you condemn Candace and condemn Tucker. Okay, work on it, Elon. Lionel finishes it off. You know, we don't want to talk about these attacks all day. Lionel says, I can't believe the number of people who seem to say the same thing, almost in unison. Not even almost, Lionel. It is in unison. Almost choreographed, time after time after time. Why do you think that is? I like Lionel. I'm telling you, if you're on X, go follow Lionel. He has some, he talks about some great stuff. And he even gets real out there with certain stuff that he'll post. Like that thing that I showed you guys about the Blood Boy, Diddy's Blood Boy. Like I got that from Lionel. Like he goes deep. He's in Candace's trailer. Hats. There's no way Candace couldn't use that. I mean, that's the best thing ever. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's very much in unison. It's all together. You know, Jimmy Dore did talk about the bounties, right? If you don't know what I mean, certain websites will put up something and they'll say there's a bounty on saying bad things about this person. And the bounty will be, you know, $20,000. And then everybody who takes part and then actually shows proof of their work, based on the metrics and how many impressions they get, how many likes they get, how much engagement the whole thing gets, they get a certain amount of that bounty. So, you know, if you do like a little bit, you know, maybe you get 500, you know, maybe you're a bigger account and you put something out there, maybe you get 5,000, right? And they keep putting out these bounties. And that's why you see these coordinated efforts constantly online. And this is towards anybody, right? This can happen right, left, conservative, like it doesn't matter. Like if somebody decides I want to put money towards this, they just do it and the attacks begin. So very interesting. Very interesting. I think that is what's happening with Candace. I do think that there is some kind of bounty because the amount of people all saying this, I don't even think like, you know, could Turning Point be responsible for it? Definitely. I mean, they definitely have the money. They definitely have the money to just drop like a $10 million bounty and just be like, everybody have at it. They could do that. I don't know that they have. There's no proof of that. And there would never be proof of that because they would just have it removed, and then some company would do it. And then that company would shield all the other companies. That's kind of how this whole thing works. So, because, you know, if the DNC does it, if the GOP does it, which does happen, right? They can't be seen doing that type of thing. So they have to get shielded. It's a whole network of things. So it could be Turning Point, but it could be anybody really that's doing it. Obviously, we're all going to lean towards Turning Point. Who else are we going to think that it is? I mean, come on. We're at 9,000 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know Black Poppy. Yay! I mean, I know I said I was going to learn a song, but that's not far off. It's not far off, guys. I mean, you go listen to like Dominican, Brazilian music. Like it's a lot. It's that rhythm. And it's usually just words. You know, those aren't words. I know Spanish. Okay, guys? I know Spanish. I'm Cuban, kinda. My dad's Cuban. And my grandparents are Cuban. Anyway, let's get into Baron, ladies and gentlemen. I found this moment to be so good. I know Baron doesn't clip out things. He's not into that whole thing. But I loved the way he handled this person. This person is basically and he handled it very well. Even allowed it to be up there. His mods, I guess, are instructed not to take things like that down. Hold on. Okay, we're at 9:31. Let me just tell you something. Because me and Baron have some of the same mods. Let me tell you right now. If this pops up on my stream, get rid of it. Hold on. Let me just show you guys the example real quick.
But I'll look into it. If you say it works, it works. Hey, Baron, why were you a rat for the FBI 12 years ago, you toothless rat grifter? I've never talked to the FBI a day in my life.
No. I mean, he handled business with this whole thing. No, not me. Because I'm going to think about that late at night. I'm going to get pissed. This is the reason I don't read comments anymore. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's terrible, you know? It's called him toothless. Why? Like, why? Why are you doing that? Like, what's wrong with you? You paid money to do that? Like, what? Absolutely crazy. I mean, Baron's a good man. I have to say, I would not read that. I would say F you. Baron gave it like 10 minutes of talking about it, but this is how he ended it off. I thought this was so gangster.
What I think he was trying to tell me, here's what he was telling me to do with the information. It was things like, you know, as you're doing these political races, feel free to use this, right? Let them know what's happening. He was constantly asking about polling results in different races, you know, very interested in the political process, whether or not the guy he was had indicted and was going to try in case he was trying to get him unelected. And so I find myself in the middle of this fight between the very powerful attorney general of the state of Alabama, who became a U.S. senator, and the Speaker of the House of Alabama, who was probably the most powerful political figure in Alabama history, at least in the last 20 or 30 years. And I'm dead in the middle of this. And the judge calls me and it makes me testify. I'm like, all right, here's what. So the prosecutor's position was he's a confidential informant. And my position was I didn't agree to work with anybody. I just answered questions as they were asked. He calls me over. He threatens me. Whatever. That's why I went after him. Don't threaten me. RIGOD, whatever your name is down there. Because the last few people that threatened me, the chief prosecutor, he lost his job. He got fired. The Speaker of the House, he went to prison. So guess what? I got my way with both of them. Don't threaten me. That's what happened. The feds were not involved at all. I've never.
So gangster. Said, don't threaten me. Don't threaten. That's so gangster. RIG, whatever your name is. I was like, wow. It's not even, somebody said like thin skin. It's not thin skin, bro. I'm not Fuentes. I'm not doing the whole debate energy and just having this weird thing with people online. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not Kai Cenat or I Show Speed or Rampage Jackson where they talk a bunch of stuff to him and he goes, what y'all talking about? Who talking to me? Who's doing that? I'm not doing any of that, man. I'm not doing it. Any of that. That's crazy. My blood pressure? Bro, you don't get access to my blood pressure. Are you kidding me? Are you crazy? You get zero access to my blood pressure. You get zero access to my anger. Because, and I've said this before, and it could be off-putting at times, Jordan Peterson's talked about this. In the realm of men, there's only so much you can say before men go, well, I guess we got to do the man thing now, because you're taking your disrespect to this high level for no reason whatsoever. There's a realm where you can't just do stuff like that. That's why I try to stay so respectful. Even when I'm tearing into guys like Graham and Gary, I try to remain respectful. If they see the clips, Valhalla, Jesse, if they see the things I say, they go, well, it's actually balanced. I've had those messages come to me on my phone and go, someone said you were saying this. I actually watched it. You're really balanced. It was kind of actually really funny. Thanks for not being a dick. And I go, yeah, no problem, man. Like, if you're just outwardly disrespectful, why on earth would I have to put up with that? I don't have to put up with it on the street, but for some reason I have to put up with it here. Are you crazy? I'm doing this for the rest of my life. You know that, right? I'm not, what? This is my new workplace. I don't have to do that. You're right. And I'm the boss. What? I didn't become the boss so people could just tell me off all day. No, sir. That's absolutely wild. But again, Barron handled that like a G. And I guess it's something that he's wanted to talk about for a while, because I have seen people try to kind of smear him with that information. So the fact that he broke it all down, let me just show people, because he does a great explanation. I'll just repost this and call this gangster. That's what I'll say. Gangster. If you actually want to see the full explanation that he has there. Great. Absolutely great. Barron is one of the greats he is becoming, definitely. Let's get into it. Oh, Barron's come on. There you go, Barron. A nice gray one. See, that's what I mean. You like a nice gray one. Has he ever even worn black? Come on, Barron. Come on over. Not everything has to be glitz and glamour and flashy stuff. Come on. You wear a nice gray sweater sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Come down here with the rest of us normal folk with your gray sweater. Fantastic. He has inspired me. I am going to get a red sweater. I am going to get a red and a green and a blue sweater. I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. I felt too called out by Barron. He has folded me, and I will be buying colorful sweaters again. Just so you guys know, I used to buy all sorts of colorful sweaters. Neon green, neon pink. Ask my wife. She's in the chat. Ask her. Ask her if I had neon pink sweater and shoes. I do. They're still downstairs. Anyway, let's get into it. He has made an amazing discovery here with Andrew Colvett in this interview. And there's 2 clips here. Shout out to Skylar once again. Thank you for these clips.
That they don't want him to be a loose cannon out on his own. They want to make sure they can kind of control the message, handle the message, put messages in, and shape Charlie into a different creature. Now, this is where it gets really interesting to me. We're skipping forward about 6 minutes. So if you're following along at home and you're watching that interview, or you want to go back and watch the rest of it, there's other good stuff in there, but I think I've got most of the good stuff in my clip. So we'll fast forward about 6 minutes. Now they're going to talk about what was the day of the Big Bang like for you? What did you do in the day leading up? What did you do on the day of? Tell me how it affected you. It's a very interesting discussion.
No. If you don't mind, can you just say something about what the day itself was like for you?
Yeah. Well,
it can be brief.
Yeah, I know. It's so the day before, actually, I had booked an interview for him that he was not super pleased that I booked for him, but there was a good reason for doing it. But he was like, you know what? I'm tired now, and I want to focus on the tour tomorrow. So you're gonna guest host the show tomorrow.
Okay, this is interesting to me. This I book noted this in my mind. And this took some research to put together and figure out what the hell he was just talking about. Our handler here, Andrew, the guy who pursued Charlie, the guy who worked for the guy who discovered Charlie in South Florida at some event, And the guys got together and said, we need to control this guy. We got to get in front of this guy. Andrew says the day before he passes away, he booked an interview, and Charlie wasn't happy about it. Well, Daisy goes off and does Daisy things. She looks up every interview Charlie Kirk had the day before and identified with near certainty what exactly was the interview that Charlie Kirk wasn't happy about. And when you see it, you're going to go, oh, yeah, exactly. I guarantee you he wasn't happy about it. I'll play a clip of that interview now if you guys don't mind. It's pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating. You guys remember this interview? The eyebrow interview? You guys remember when those caterpillars went flying up his forehead? I do. I'll play that part right here.
I think it's very important for our audience to hear this, though, because there is an incessant campaign. And one thing a friend sent to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media, COVID, lockdowns on Ukraine, on the border, on so like maybe we should also ask a question: is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Question, that maybe we shouldn't believe.
Look at those babies! Those are amazing. Those are great eyebrows, and they're high. They're very high on the forehead. They just whoop, went right up. Why would Charlie not have wanted to do this interview? If you've not seen the interview, it's fantastic. I could play another minute or so and give you a nice feel for it. But why would Charlie not have wanted to do this interview? Could it be because he was texting Andrew Colvett and Dan Flood pretty much on this day, September 9th, saying, they're trying to kill me. These people are going to kill me. I think there are people who want to kill me. And Andrew, you know who they are. It's the eyebrow people. It's the people who do this.
It's the eyebrow people. That's what we have to call them now. The eyebrow people. You know those eyebrow people, right? You guys all know who I'm talking about when you talk about those eyebrow people. Very, very funny, man. And just to what Baron's talking about, if you don't know about that interview, it is borderline combative. Charlie you can tell Charlie is saying what he wants. He is not doing the regular super pro Philadelphia thing. He is not doing that in this interview. You can tell he is completely moved away from that, partially because his opinions are changing, and I guess partially because Andrew Colvett actually scheduled this interview and he didn't actually really want to do it because he knows that when he had that phone call with Josh Hammer and other people who are not named, Candace named the Philadelphian guy that was with Josh Hammer. There's two people who are named. They won't name the other people, but there were various people in there. Could Ben have been one of the people in there, right? Candace also talks about the fact that the way that this happened, how it was such a rushed thing. It was more of a damage control thing than it was Charlie needed some talking points. Charlie needed to get reeled in. So what better people to have there? Josh Hammer, Shapiro, possibly. Andrew Colvett, I would think for sure. Probably someone else within the Turning Point circle. After that happens, then Charlie has to sit down with Ben in an interview. Yeah, you'd be pissed. If Ben was in that chat, okay? If he was in there while this whole thing was going on, this whole talking points thing, because Charlie needs talking points from Josh Hammer and Shapiro and all these people, although he's the best communicator out of all of them. He really needs their help. All these unknown people, right? If Ben was in there, and then the next day, they leave that chat. Charlie says to Andrew, they're going to kill me. Now the they becomes a lot more clear. They're going to kill me. Then he says to Dan Flood, I think they're going to kill me. Then the next day, he's scheduled to sit down and have a one-on-one with Ben almost like, now that Barron has sorted this out, it's almost as if you're reeling in, this is your disciplinary meeting, talking points. This is your disciplinary meeting. And now we want to see if you've learned your lesson. So now you have to sit down with Ben and talk properly. You better. And instead, Charlie goes, no, I'm not going to talk properly. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to say whatever I want. In that interview, go watch the interview. He's very, like, the things he's saying to Ben. First off, it doesn't seem like they're even remotely friends. Me and Jesse on Fire, don't know each other as well as, me and Barron don't know each other as well as Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk did. But if we sat down together, you'd be like, oh, these guys are like, they're really cool with each other. Like, you'd think we were friends for longer than we actually are. And it's not because it's fake. It's because we actually connect on so many things. We actually have a connection, right? Go watch Jesse and me in our interview. It's like we're best friends. It's like we've known each other forever. We have a 3-hour conversation. And that's just what you saw on camera. So you go check, like, but you see Ben and Charlie, they're talking like they're not friends at all. Ben barely, I don't even think he smiles through the entire interview. He is raising his eyebrows at Charlie. He is looking at Charlie kind of weird. And he's kind of looking at him like, oh yeah, oh yeah? You're really going to say that right now while you're here with me, you know? And Ben doesn't push back. There's no friendly banter. It's like Charlie's pissed. He's not going to be reeled in. And now I'm starting to think, could Ben have possibly been one of the people that was present where Charlie says, I think they're going to kill me? Because then that energy that you see between the two of them makes so much more sense. So much more sense. I mean, for anybody who knows Ben Shapiro's MO, which we all do, it is, I love Philadelphia more than any other place. Other places could get wiped off the map. As long as Philadelphia is safe, I don't care. That's kind of his MO, right? We've seen that mask fall over the years. You know, in an interview, especially when you're media trained or you've done enough interviews like Charlie has, you know not to say those things to Ben Shapiro. You know that's not going to be a good conversation to have with Ben Shapiro. You know he's not going to go for that, right? But they do it still. But Charlie does it still. That makes so much sense. So much. I'm so glad Barron pointed that out. That makes a ton of sense now. Now there's a, actually, let me see what else he has to say really quick just about this.
Andrew was aware of the text thread where he said, I'm left no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Andrew was aware of it. Yet he books this interview. He books this interview. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane to me when you put it all together in the timeline. Again, you got to get back to the basics. You have to strip away everything you think you know about the Charlie Kirk investigation. You have to pull it all away. And you got to go back and look at the peepers. You got to look at his peepers and the peeper covers. Look at those curtains.
Everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse IL wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the government, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be? And how does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing?
Look at Ben's face. Look at his face. Andrew booked this interview knowing everything else that was going on in Charlie's life.
I'm telling you, man, that energy that they have, this is the energy, right? This right here is what they have through the entire interview. The whole thing, it's like an hour long. The whole time, Ben is like that and Charlie's like that. And you could even see where Barron just played that clip where Charlie goes, I've been conditioned to ask some more critical questions. And then he brings up the cleansing question. That's why Ben looks like that. He's like, what are you doing? We just talked to you about this. We just had a conversation with you about this. Just yesterday. And you're talking to me like this. Now, I'm not saying Ben did it. I'm not saying Ben's responsible. But I'm saying this energy seems like a person who was involved in a text message thread, a group text, who was trying to discipline Charlie. And now they're seeing Charlie will not be disciplined. He will not be disciplined. He will not be reeled in. He's going to continue asking the questions. He's going to continue making things very uncomfortable. And if they keep on pushing like they are, that he's going to leave the cause like he said he would. And you have to remember, you know, as much as they push back against like, oh, you know, this wasn't a call to kind of reel Charlie in. No, it was just about talking points. If he says he's going to leave that cause, him, Mr. Philadelphia, I mean, he is Mr. Philadelphia. I mean, we have the Mint Daddy contest where everybody's wearing mints. I mean, Charlie would be head to toe in Philadelphia mints. I mean, just head to toe, one on his tongue and just covered in them. He's Mr. Philadelphia. And then he says, I'm going to leave the cause. And you think that they wouldn't be like, oh, this takes intense damage control. They wouldn't be like, oh, that's fine. Like, whatever. Let's just talk about your speech tomorrow. Who cares? No chance. No chance. And then Andrew did that to him. Just for anybody that's wondering, Skylar sent me that timestamp. That's a Bear. I don't know if Baron is okay with me saying timestamps. I think he'd be okay with it. That timestamp is 36 minutes. If you go to 36 minutes in episode 69, you will see what I just showed you guys. And obviously, Baron gets deeper into it in case you want to take a gander at that part of the episode. Now we're moving on to 1 hour, 16 minutes, 23 seconds, where he actually shows us Andrew Colvett. Again, I did not know that this interview happened. Baron, thank you so much for letting me know that this interview took place. But I'm really can't get over the fact of what we're seeing in terms of Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk. That energy makes so much more sense. I mean, I have to just go back just one time. This energy makes so much more sense now. I couldn't figure it out before. I was just like, oh, they just don't like each other. I made a video about it. I was like, oh, they just don't like each other. That's what that is. It proves they weren't friends, right? I was trying to prove Candace's assertion that they weren't actually friends and that there could be some like bad blood between them. But this is completely different. Charlie didn't want to be there. This was the process is called buck breaking. And they were checking to see if the buck was broken, and the buck was not broken. And if you look up that term, then you'll see what they do after when a buck does not break. Anyway, let's keep going.
My thesis.
Sorry, real quick. I saw that there's 10,000 in the chat. My apologies, guys. I know Black Poppy. Yeah. Let's go, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's keep on going.
Of how Andrew has been, the thesis of my explanation for why Andrew has been operating the way he's been operating since the Big Bang. I want to see if you guys catch it. It's something that hit me like a ton of bricks when I finally figured it out.
You want me to go conspiracy theories
Either
first,
one.
or yeah?
But let's start with the conspiracy theories actually, and then sort of get bigger from there.
You know, I think that you're right though that I think they are connected. There's been obviously people want to know what happened, and I don't begrudge them wanting to get to the bottom of it. I also don't begrudge them having a sort of distrust for authority and a distrust for institutional authority and governmental authority, because we have been lied to about things. And so I understand it on some level. Like, genuinely don't begrudge people that. And I think it's, in a weird way, a testament to Charlie's impact and his importance. And so I have trained myself to see the conspiracy theories as a testament to the love for Charlie.
Just for people who don't know all the conspiracy theories, right? Like the theories, you're referencing the fact that some of the theories are basically like, obviously someone on Charlie's team must have set him up.
Or
right?
he was betrayed, or,
right.
you know, and I do my best, and this is why I'm so grateful that I have faith, because I'm able to pray for people that are taking that energy and directing it at people Charlie loved, his closest friends. And that gives me a lot of, I think, an anchor in a pretty tumultuous storm otherwise. And I also watched Charlie deal with so many lies about him, and I watched him over the years learn when to stay silent, when to speak into things, when to correct, when to be strategically absent on a conversation. And this is where the two subjects bleed a little bit together, where you have a lot of people that are now part of canonizing Charlie Kirk, but in life were either, they were not particularly friendly, or they were outright hostile.
Okay. So duly noted. I mean, I find myself in that. I wasn't outright hostile to Charlie Kirk, but I didn't love his foreign policy, and his foreign policy had kind of become his defining stance over the last few years of his life, and I wasn't wild about it. Did you notice anything missing when they talked about conspiracy theories? Was there a name subtly missing from the conversation? Because when you think Charlie Kirk and conspiracy theories, what obvious name comes to the surface? There's a name Ross Douthat was fishing for when he raised the question of conspiracy theories. I know I cut off his question, but by Charlie's answer, he repeated the question, so you guys heard it. He raised the issue of conspiracy theories, and Candace's name never fell out of Andrew Colvit's mouth. I think that was a huge miss, Ross Douthat believes. And so when I go back, Ross Douthat's going to say, hey, obviously you're talking about Candace Owens, right? How did you miss her?
Yeah. And so
I had no idea that they actually say it. I'm like watching this blind with you guys. I had no idea that he actually does try to bring up Candace. I was about to pull up the full interview and see if they actually mentioned Candace at all in the interview. Wow. So he actually does bring it up. So he is actually fishing. It's very interesting that this type of stuff happens. Now, I would ask you this before we get into it. Do you think him bringing up Candace is because the New York Times wants to bring that up? Because this guy works for the New York Times. This is a New York Times interview. Do you think he wants Andrew to bring it up? Or do you think that it's very prepped and prepared, like Erika Kirk when she sat down with Barry Weiss, and they know what they're going to be discussing? I wonder, like, is Andrew taking the opportunity to seem like he doesn't want to bring up Candace and then he's forced to? Or is Andrew actually just legitimately like, I don't want any problems. I'm not making this about Candace at all. So I'm just gonna talk the way that you just saw him talking. I wonder which one it actually is.
I mean, I think the most explicit one where there has been sort of really clear attempts to sort of claim his mantle and his legacy for completely different perspectives is the issue of and obviously that is also entangled with the conspiracy theory stuff, because some of the most prominent conspiracy theories have involved. And I have a general question about, again, like, I assume this was one of the issues that you guys were talking about before he was killed.
Of course.
But then there's also the specific reality that Candace Owens, who is, one of the most popular podcasters in America, was Charlie's friend. She is the leading voice for many of these theories. And so I'm curious what your view of her arc since his killing is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spare you the next 7 minutes of this interview. But I will assure you, Andrew talks basically uninterrupted for the next 6 or 7 minutes of this interview. And why I'm sparing you is because I can summarize it in one sentence. He doesn't mention Candace. And I think that's important. Ross Douthat basically says, all right. Raise the issue of conspiracy theories. I figured you'd run off on Candace. You didn't. You talked vaguely about conspiracy theories. You even said that you thought some of the people who were talking about conspiratorial things relative to Candace Owens, relative to Israel might be excuse me, I'm sorry. His answer was essentially, I find the people who are pursuing the conspiracy theories might be doing it out of a love for Charlie. That summarized Andrew's answer. I think the people who are doing these conspiracy theories might be doing it out of a love for Charlie. If I'm reading between the lines, what he's saying is, I know you're talking about Candace, and I think she might be doing it out of a love for Charlie. So then Ross Douthat hears that and says, wait a minute, I work for the New York Times. I'm supposed to bash Candace, and he didn't. So let me just be blunt. The conspiracy theories obviously arise out of our greatest ally. The leading contender in the country against our greatest ally might be Candace Owens, at least the most popular one who's the leading contender. So what do you think about her? I'll play a little bit of it, but I can assure you he basically ignores it for 6 or 7 straight minutes. And I'll show you that by Ross Douthat's reply. But here is the direct next sentence. Next
I would say when it comes to the issue of it, it was certainly something that we wrestled with a lot.
It goes right past Candace. We wrestled with it. It's a tough thing. A lot of people have good opinions on it either side. I don't want to spoil the whole surprise. I don't want to play the whole interview. But I will fast forward until Ross Douthat basically says, hey, you ignored my question. I'm trying to get you to bash Candace and you're refusing to do so. What's up?
This is very interesting. So a lot of you, and myself included, were thinking very prepped interview, for sure. You know, even somebody right there, prepped for sure. But then it's like you have to keep going back and forth. Yeah. Hit the like button. Just a random person telling me to tell people to hit the like button. All right. Jeez. Okay. I forget sometimes. Okay. Hit that like button, please. Yeah. I don't know if this is prepared. I can't tell now because the guy is fighting to get Andrew to say it. He's afraid of her. That's where my next thought goes, is that he's afraid. He's scared to say something about Candace. He doesn't want to end up on a thumbnail. You know, the last thing you want to see is there is an investigative series on Andrew Colvett now. He doesn't want that. Looks bad, you know? Candace goes deep. Candace might pull up Grindr info. I'm kidding. I'm just joking. But not joking about the fact that maybe he doesn't want to end up on a thumbnail. You know, we say end up on a thumbnail like people in the hood say, yo, I'll put you on a t-shirt, you know, because you'll like pass away. Yo, I'll put that's Candace. Candace rolls up like a gang member. She's like, yo, what's up? What's up, bro? CO, what's good? Bro, I'll put you on a thumbnail. Hey, bro, I'll put you on a thumbnail, bro. You want to end up on a thumbnail like old girl? Huh? Andrew's just like, no, ma'am. I just want to go home. No, ma'am. Please, don't hurt me. Don't hurt Mikey. No, ma'am. I'll put both y'all on thumbnails. Hey, look at me, boy. I'll put both y'all on thumbnails. Y'all know me. I'll not go on vacation for 8 weeks. I'll put both of y'all on thumbnails. Tell Tyler too. Punk it. Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know now. I'm starting to think about it. It seems like, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to listen to this. You know, I like the way Barron's cutting through it here. I do want to hear what Andrew said though, but I get what he's saying. He's saying Andrew's basically just dodging it. It makes sense. He wants to dodge the whole thing. He doesn't really want to rip on Candace. Again, you know, at the beginning, Candace has revealed that Andrew was the source of many things that she learned, that she put in episodes that caused quite the flurry online. So I'm not saying Andrew's this great guy or anything, but yeah, I mean, you're a source. I mean, he could have been seen as playing both sides. People could still be looking at him as someone who's playing both sides. I mean, he was telling Candace things nobody knew until he stepped out of line and he was playing both sides too heavy. And then Candace got pissed and was like, well, I'll just reveal it. And that's what she revealed when she was on Jimmy Dore's show about a month and a half ago, I think. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Watch this.
Going into the end of the Trump era. So start with, and I notice you didn't answer my question about Candace Owens. I think Candace Owens is a clear example of just how much potential division there is on the right.
That's evidence that Andrew, in 6 minutes, he was asked specifically about Candace Owens, and he specifically refused to attack her. He didn't even mention her. He completely ignored her. You don't believe me? Go play the interview. He completely ignored her. He didn't talk about her. He talked about Israel. He talked about wrestling with the topic of our greatest ally within internal things. He talked about how difficult it was on college campuses because so many of the young people had strong opinions on it, what the differences of opinions were, where he thought they were born out of. He went to this long explanation, but he didn't go after Candace. The door was open on 2 separate occasions, and he didn't go after her. So does he go after her this time?
Right now, where, yes, as you were suggesting, you could see a kind of stable middle ground that reassesses the U.S.-Israel relationship in some ways. But in practice, you just have a lot of absolutism in the pro camp. And then you have an anti-camp with Owens as a prime example that has just veered all the way very quickly into anti-Semitism.
So that's what we call in the law a leading question. When you can't get your witness to answer the open-ended question, you just answer it for them. Normally, the judge will smack your hand, but here they don't because there's no judge. So he's like, look, I brought you on to bash Candace. You're not bashing Candace, so I'll do it on my own. How does our good friend Andrew Colbert respond?
So maybe start with her. What has happened to Candace Owens?
He will not let him go off of this. Now look at Andrew's face. Stare into those eyes. What do you think he's going to say? It's clear what it is Ross Douthat wants him to say. He just told him what he wants him to say in the question. Watch how he responds. This is very, very, very telling. Watch how he responds.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I love how Barron just pauses it right away. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's how you're going to answer. That's how you're going to answer if you don't want to get into it with Candace. And also, I know a lot of people don't like it, but, you know, there is a world where he is a company man doing what he has to do, but also understands what Candace is doing is necessary. Keep in mind, the only reason we know about the group text message that was leaked, where Charlie says he's leaving the cause, which is huge in the timeline. The only reason we know about that is because Andrew released it. He released it to the authorities, and then somehow it got to Candace. Now, from what I know and how much Candace has revealed, Andrew told her, I actually think Andrew's the one that gave it to Candace. I don't think there's anyone else in that group. I don't think the rabbi would have done it. If Ben Shapiro was there, he wouldn't have done it. Definitely Josh Hammer wouldn't have done it. I think Andrew for sure was in that group text thread. Who else would have done that? You know, we say it's somebody in the authorities, right? But when he gave it to the authorities, he probably gave it over either to Utah or to the Bureau. Maybe Candace has some friends in the Bureau. Perhaps, right? It definitely ain't Cash and Bongino. Definitely not those two, you know? And they're definitely not going to allow her to bring up that type of timeline into their investigation. They've been ironclad on Tyler Robinson. That's just how it's been. So who else could have actually given her that text message? Again, not to say he's some great guy, but who else could it have been? I don't think it could have been anybody else. I think he actually is the one that gave it to her. Maybe he didn't think she'd get so out of hand. Maybe he didn't think that what's happening now wouldn't happen. Maybe he thought it would be something else, you know, but he did it. I think anyway.
Does that sound very TPUSA like to you? Does that sound like Erika? Does that sound like Erika on Barry Weiss? I don't know. I don't know, Ross Douthat, what's happened to Candace Owens. I know this is the third time you tried to get me to bash her, to call her a conspiracy theorist, to say she's ruining Charlie's legacy, to say Candace is attacking Erika as a grieving widow, to say she's destroying the lives of the children and those closest, that she's just trying to work for Democrats, that she's just trying to do the bidding of somebody else. I know this is the third time. But I'm not going to answer you this time either.
Is the truth. I know that, I mean, I've known Candace for, I guess, I want to say probably 2019, I think, is when I first met Candace. And she was always, very opinionated. She was always, I would say, a fiery personality. And she, for a while, she existed within the Turning Point ecosystem. And she just simply, grew to the point where it made more sense for her, I think, in her eyes, to sort of, do her own thing outside of the Turning Point ecosystem. And, she's obviously a tremendous just talent, right? And from a pure oratory standpoint.
Does this sound like somebody who's bashing Candace as a conspiracy theorist? Does this sound like anything else you've heard out of TPUSA? Out of the Fed slop? Does this sound like anything you've heard out of any of these people? Rob McCoy, Blake Neff, Mikey McCoy, Erika Kirk?
It's weird, man. Very weird. Very weird. And again, just to what I just said before, maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the reason, Somebody said something about Lionel's hand farts are awesome. I guess I won't be watching those videos. I don't know. I don't want to know about hand farts. Anyway, well, somebody just said, "Don't be fooled. He's playing both sides." I just said he's playing both sides. I just said that. I'm the one that said it before you said it. You said it because I said it. You don't recall? So yeah. I think he is playing both sides. I think there's one side he doesn't have to play the Candace side. He could just be like, oh, I'm just not talking to her ever again. And that's it. He doesn't have to play the Candace side at all. He could easily just play the Turning Point side. He has to play the Turning Point side. That's non-negotiable. He can't suddenly not be answering calls and not doing what he's doing, especially if he's like the handler of the company because he's the spokesperson, right? When he does this interview, he's doing it on behalf of Turning Point. It's not just Andrew Colvett. He's not his own personality yet. Everything he does is just Turning Point, right? Nobody really cares what he himself alone has to say quite yet. Unless it's some wild stuff. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen in the future. But he has to do that. The Turning Point side. Doesn't have to do that on the Candace side. But he's choosing to do both. That's what it seems like, at least. Right? I don't know. Wild. Thank you so much, Baron. That timestamp for everybody was an hour 16 minutes, like I told you. The reason somebody laughed because I sped up Baron. I don't want to be disrespectful and play too much, so I should have actually sped up most of his parts and just got to the interview part because I just didn't know where to find this interview. I didn't know it happened. I didn't know the timestamps like Baron does, so I just needed it for that. But no disrespect to Baron. Like I said, we're showing him love today. Okay, it's been nothing but showing Baron love today, and that was amazing that he found that interview. I didn't even know it happened, honestly. Shout out to Baron. You know what? I do this for so many other people. Why wouldn't I do it for Baron? Maybe I'll change Baron's life right now. But if you guys don't know who Baron is, and you're hearing us all talk about Baron, you're seeing people talk about Baron in the chat. Baron Coleman, YouTube channel's absolutely fantastic. Partly showing this because I want people to subscribe. Also, I don't want him to copyright claim me because I played 8 minutes, more than 8 minutes of his video. So please don't come after me, Baron. Please hit that subscribe button and the notification button on Baron. It will help his channel tremendously if you do. And I think that kid's gonna make it. I think that kid's gonna make it. Let's get into I'm going to do this very briefly. I just found it very funny. It was just a very funny thing. And it's just you guys know I talk about Gary all the time. I just found it so interesting and so funny. Project Constitution reposts this. Project Constitution is, talk about the dedication to trolling. Oh, this is the 2-minute version. Oh, there's like an 18-minute version of this. Oh man, whatever. I'm not even going to play 18 minutes of it. But Project Constitution's dedicated to trolling, and he's paying money to troll Gary. And I just went, wow, what dedication this guy has. Check this out.
Project Constitution. It's the microphone receiver under Charlie's shirt on his belt left side where the shape charge was set to explode. There's ample evidence to suggest this. Watch my live from today. If you want the biggest lying grifter piece of shit on the planet, it would be Project Constitution. So I appreciate you showing up in my chat, and I'm glad to take your $20 there. Project Constitution, being the lying piece of shit that he is, wants to completely get rid of all that information, omit that information, and try to push this off. So again, Colin, you're a dishonest piece of shit. And I there's no, like, I want to make sure that we're clear on that. You continue to push lies about me. You've continued to defame me. And look, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to be coming after you. I'm going to be coming after you. I'm still exploring legal. All right. We've already looked into who you are and what's going on. I know exactly where you live, and that is not a threat or anything else. I'm just letting you know that I've looked into you. Well, I will gladly share with you guys who Colin actually is.
I sped up the clip and he's just talking about Colin, and I'm like, oh, are we doing this? Are we doing this, Gary? Is that what we're doing? You want to end up on a thumbnail, bro? But I didn't realize Project Constitution, his name's Colin as well. So I was like, oh, okay. And he's calling him Colin because he like wants to like, listen, I know your name. You know, he's like, I know your government name, buddy. Very interesting. That was clearly a threat as well. Saying you know exactly where someone lives, that's not usually what you say, even if you're going to serve them papers to sue them. You don't usually say, hey, I know where you live, buddy. That's not quite how you do it. He's threatening him a little bit there. You're trying to let him know, hey, I know where you are. I'm an operator. I'm Paramount Tactical. I have a tactical company. I have so much ammo. I have so much, you know what I mean? Like, I can come and see you, kind of thing. That is clearly what he's doing. Gary's losing it. Gary's losing it, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting pissed. Shout out to Project Constitution. Project Constitution. He didn't even do it once. He paid like $30 to just troll Gary. He's like, oh, say something else to you. Oh, say something else to you. Wow. And Gary's just like, well, I mean, he paid me, so I have to read it. I'm like, oh. Gary's like, everybody who pays me, whatever they tell me to read, I'm going to read. You know, that's how it works. If they give me money to say something, I have to say it. So I guess I got to read this. How much? $20? Certainly, sir. Oh my gosh. Yeah, people. Yeah. Clearly a threat, man. You're sitting there saying that you're going to come after somebody. I mean, that's just, it's a terrible thing to do. Honestly, I don't think he should be doing that. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart for his energy's sake, you know, Gary himself. And I don't think it's good to actually put that stress on somebody like you're doing the Project Constitution. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. You're clearly not joking around. You're clearly getting pissed off. Like, not a good look, in my opinion.
Well, let's play some of this content. Why not? I already posted it earlier. We already got it up. I'll get to you. I see your super chat, Colin. God, if you want to come on to my channel, you're more than welcome to. I'll send you a guest link right now. Dishonest motherfucker.
Welcome to the channel.
Right, so that's Colin. Colin, by the way, who is an overweight version of Cartman and whose voice makes me want to ice pick my own eardrums. That's and you know what? I'm going to show you guys another picture of this worthless turd. You know what? No, I'm not. The point here is there's.
He had to drop his phone. He's like, you know what? This is it's getting out of hand. I gotta relax. He's getting mad, man. Gary's getting pissed.
Very few people that are more disingenuous than Colin from Project Constitution. Let's see what his other super chat says. Love you too, boo boo. Yeah. Oh, Colin.
He's gonna kill him. Gary's gonna kill him. Oh, I'm crying. I'm actually crying. He's so pissed. Oh my God. He's so angry. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Project Constitution. Oh, shout out to him. That is hilarious. Wow. Holy. That is just incredible. He is so mad. Love you too, Boo Boo. He's just like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Just picturing, look at his face, just picturing all the things he could do to him. Just picturing everything he could do to him. Look at the silence. You thought I paused it. You thought for sure I paused it when he read that. Look at that.
Colin.
Oh, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. Oh my God. Send Project Constitution some money. He needs security. He needs security, definitely. Wow, that is hilarious. I'm actually crying. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love to see it. Whew, that is incredible. Thank you so much, Project Constitution. Really appreciate that. Those two should have a show together. That's what they should do. They should get together and have a show where they're just going at each other. That's what they should do. And just hash some stuff out, you know? Project Constitution brings up a theory. Gary says no, you know, they get into a little spat. They should make that an hour-long show that they do every week, every day. I would pay. Make it a member show. I'll pay. I'll pay for some of you guys too. We can all watch it together. I'll clip a bunch of it. That'd be a great show. That'd be a fantastic, you know, Sam Tripoli and Brian Callen have a show like that. Sam Tripoli brings up a conspiracy. Brian tries to debunk it. And then they go at each other for a while. Oh, it would be so much better with Gary and Project there. That would be absolutely, yeah, pay-per-view, man. Jeez, I would love that, guys. Wow. Just hilarious. Gary, you know, I've tried to give you advice before. Just relax, you know? He doesn't have to read it. He doesn't have to. He didn't have to read it. He chose to. Candace gets hundreds of super chats. She reads like 7 of them. You don't have to read all of them if you don't want to. I do, but I mean, you don't have to. But good for him. Good for him. You know, they have this thing, you know, they're kind of like I was going to say Batman and the Joker, but that's Erika and Candace. They're like Cartman and Kyle. That's what they're like. If you ever watch South Park, they're like Cartman and Kyle, you know? They're constantly yelling at each other. They don't like each other. But at the end of the day, they're friends, you know? They exist in the same, they go to the same school. They got the same group of friends. Anyway. That was so good. I have not laughed that hard in the longest time. That was crazy. No, it would work. I'm telling you, that show would work. That would be a good show. People would tune in for that. Gary getting pissed off, and eventually Gary would just give, if they were in the same room, he would just give him the Homer Simpson eventually. He'd be like, why, you little? Oh, for sure. For sure. But again, you know, he shouldn't be telling people that he knows where he lives. That's not a thing to do, you know? That's the second threat that Project Constitution has received. He actually told me about another one from a creator that we all know, and not cool to be issuing threats. I mean, Project Constitution's cool with it. He's like, whatever. He's like, I don't care. But I mean, I heard about it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But again, I take that with my own discernment, and you know, I no longer communicate or talk about that creator. Anyway, Grok is now being used in the Pentagon, ladies and gentlemen. Grok is now being used in the Pentagon. I don't know that this is a good thing, but apparently XAI just signed a deal with the DoD to bring Grok into classified systems. The Pentagon's bringing in the real one. When it comes to cutting edge AI, the most sensitive stuff, they chose Grok. Smart move, kind of smart move for them, for Grok, for Elon, of course. Really smart move. But this is how I think about this. And I just had to bring this up quickly. I'm going to move on to, you know, redacted Jeff stuff. But when I hear that, I know Grok is a great product. I have Grok. I pay for Grok every month. I don't even use it and I pay for it. I should probably stop doing that. But I feel like if they're now in bed with the DoD, which they are, they've signed a deal. This is verified. now that they're in bed with the DoD, all the information that you put on there, from what you search, from your personal information, account, email, whatever you got to put on there, whatever you're researching, looking into, I think they're going to have access to that. And that might be me going too far, but I think that's how it works. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's not just that Grok is getting let into classified systems. I would think also the people, DoD, who have those classified systems are also going to want access into Grok. That would just make sense. And since Elon has been working with the admin and, you know, doing all sorts of things that give him super high clearance, very secret classified clearance, I don't think that's out of the range of possibility. So I wouldn't tell anybody to get rid of Grok, but I would say be cautious, you know, definitely be cautious. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to like update their terms of service, you know? I wonder if they're going to like update their terms of service out of nowhere. If they do, it's like, I don't know. It's weird to me at least. But you know, I could just be, you know, I wear a tinfoil. A lot of you don't know, you're new to the show. I wear a tinfoil Speedo most times, right? I don't do the hat. I already have a hat that I like. I do the tinfoil Speedo. That way, when I dive in, you know, the hat will just come off when you dive in. But if you have a tinfoil Speedo on, well, you're protected. You're hugged. You know, you're nurtured. Anyway, let's keep going here. So they're distracting people. I was laughing so hard. I literally have to blow my nose. Oh my gosh. I was laughing so hard. I just started leaking out of my face, man. Jeez, that was hilarious. I didn't think I'd laugh that hard. I was watching that blind with everybody. Pete Hegseth reveals that he has not been briefed. So that's weird. Very weird. Again, this is just towards the distraction. So I'll show, you know, just out of fairness, I will show you the distraction and then I'll show you what they're distracting us from, right?
3 days ago, President Trump directed you to begin the process of identifying and releasing the UFO and UAP files. I mean, did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life to the American people and the world?
Did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. I mean, we've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take. Right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by.
3 days ago, President Trump directed.
But stand by. So he's digging in. He's digging into the files. So when the whole New Jersey drone thing was going on, you got confirmed. You didn't dig into that. You didn't dig it. Isn't Pete almost like the sky daddy? Doesn't he have to know what's going on in the skies? Isn't that a thing of his? Isn't that in his job description? You must be sky daddy for all Americans. Isn't that there? Isn't he supposed to know what's going on? What has been going on in the skies? And the land and the sea? Like, isn't that a thing that he's supposed to know? He's the Secretary of War. You would think. But apparently, you know, now he's going to be releasing the files. Now we're trusting him, Mr. Fake Waits, to release the files. Okay, we'll see. I don't know. The UFO ones, right? The UFO ones, that's what he is, you know, that's what he's doing. He's releasing everything that has to do with UFOs and UAPs and things of that nature. I doubt they're going to. I mean, they don't have the best record when it comes to releasing. They just don't have the greatest record. Like, I don't know. It's just very weird. Very, very weird. Yeah, somebody said they don't care about this. Yeah, nobody does. That's the thing. Nobody does. Redacted Jeff went down. Everybody wanted to know about that. And now, just perfect timing. They're like, you know what? We got, and I already told you about this. This was a left and right effort because Obama actually started it. Obama said that they're real. He's like, oh, just so you know, in this random interview that I'm having, aliens are real. You know, somebody asked him, are aliens real? He said yes. He confirmed that they're real. And then somebody asked, you know, Prez Orange. They said, hey, you know, Obama said this, and he said, he shouldn't be saying that. These are classified. You know, but we're going to get on releasing that. And then as everything ramped up with Redacted Jeff, all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got to release a bunch of stuff towards UAPs and UFOs. Really odd. Really, really odd. I mean, not so odd. They don't want people to be on it. Even Tulsi is going back to this. This is not old. Some people might think this is old, right? But this is Tulsi just talking about this again. Just perfect timing.
Documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice and others, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this manufactured, politicized piece of intelligence with the objective of subverting the will of the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essentially a years-long coup against President Trump.
Now, this is important. It is important. But again, the timing of everything. Like this little graphic that you're seeing. Tulsi made this, I don't know, when she first got confirmed. It was one of the first things she did, right? So now they're focusing on the what they're calling the Obama National Security Syndicate. Like, okay, that is important, but your timing shows that you're trying to make it bigger than Redacted Jeff. And you know, Redacted Jeff is like Kanye level. It's hard. You're gonna have to have a very big. I mean, there is going to have to be something that comes out about Diddy dipping an alien in baby oil and having his way with it in order for us to look away from Redacted Jeff. I mean, it's gonna have to be large. Whatever it is that you're trying to bring about. It has to be a huge distraction. I mean, there has to be a mothership that's miles wide and miles long that flies over Texas. I mean, it has to be something gigantic, you know? A 3D hologram of Jesus himself coming down, you know? Has to be something because people are really, really dialed in. Dialed in so much so, oh, I should probably get that part off the screen. Probably get that part off the screen here, but there you go. This is an interview. Madam G, that's what people call her. Madam G talking with somebody about the list. Does the list exist? She's trying to get clemency right now, and people are asking her if the list actually exists anymore.
Speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And what about Epstein's infamous client list? Did he even have a list?
You never observed, or you never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no, I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
The list doesn't exist? So flight manifests don't exist? The surveillance tapes don't exist? The bank records don't exist? Well, what about the media spent the last couple months trying to smear him as editor pal?
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
And did you ever hear Mr. Bean or anybody say that the president had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
It's weird. It's weird they keep calling them masseuses when they're like victims, right? That's odd. But anyway, So basically, I think what's happening here is we're seeing that Prez Orange is going to be completely exonerated. Like she said, he was a gentleman at all turns. He was quite the gentleman when we were all around the pentagram. Hillary, Bill, the other Bill, Andrew, and we were all around the pentagram lighting candles and singing our chants. He was always off getting us tea, bringing it back to us. He was quite the gentleman, you understand. Always would bring the sugar. I would say, good sir, do you have the sugar? And he'd say, of course I have the sugar. He was quite the gentleman. And then we would do the most heinous things ever. He would run out of the room covering his eyes. And I did apologize to him for what we done. So now that he's completely exonerated, I think that's when they're just choosing to close everything. Like, I don't know if you know, it's case closed. That's it. In Norway, it seems like they're making some efforts in different parts of the world. The UK, actually, they're making some kind of efforts with more than one person. It's not just the first guy. And now there's another guy, former ambassador, UK ambassador. So there's different parts of the world doing things, but America is saying case closed. It's done. And it conveniently happened directly after she gave this statement. Over, no more files released, nothing. And I'm sure there's no correlation in that whatsoever, right? Yeah, people think she's in Canada. That's AI. That's AI. Guys, she wouldn't let anybody, she wouldn't be on the street corner in Canada. Like, Canada is not no man's land. It's a small population. It is. It's a very, very small population, but it's not no man's land. Like, you wouldn't go there to be away. You'd go to some tropical place where people don't even know this is going on. I was going to say the Virgin Islands, but you couldn't go there. There's a lot of Americans there. You couldn't go to Barbados or anything because there's a lot of Americans there. You'd have to go like to Fiji or something like that. You'd have to go to Thailand. You'd have to really go away. You couldn't just be in Canada and get away from this whole thing. That doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, if she had the power to leave the cell, leave the country, it's like, why on earth go to Canada in the wintertime? You've been in a jail cell for however long, and your first stop is Quebec? Yeah, what are you doing? Kidding me? Get a bikini on and head on out to some nice water and white sand. What are we talking about? Or she could just go to wherever Jeff is. Let's be real. Wherever Jeff is chilling, she could just go there and hang out. I don't know. Maybe she has a layover. Maybe that's what people saw. She was actually having like a layover and everything like that. So maybe that's what we saw. Anyway, the whole show with an accent. You want me to do that? Listen, I could do it. I could pull it off real easy. Real easy. I could pull that off. Apparently this guy, this is from Sabby Sabs, this post. Sabby Sabs, I'm seeing her more. I'm trying to interact with her stuff more so I see it. I like the things she has to say. This is pretty basic, though. Peter Mendelsohn has been arrested. He's being accused of sharing confidential information with Redacted Jeff. So this is just him getting marched out. That's basically it. You know, he's just getting put in. No hands behind his back. I mean, that should be happening. Getting put into a car here, and that's it. So apparently they've taken him in. Again, it has nothing, they say it has nothing to do with anything, Redacted Jeff. Like this man apparently didn't get dipped in baby oil. But I don't fully believe that. Obviously you couldn't prove that, but it seems like if you're going to give Redacted Jeff this information, you could just do it for money, but you know what could happen to you even years down the line. I mean, this is years later. He's getting arrested. Like, who knows what's going to happen? If he gets tried to the fullest extent of the law, he could face life in prison. Why risk that for Redacted Jeff? I think that all this stuff happens when he has some real dirt on you. When he has real dirt on you, he turns to you and says, you're going to give this information or I'm going to release this video. That's it. I'm going to send it to your family. I'm going to put it on the internet and that's it. And you're done. Like, so make your choice. Either give me this information or I release all this information that I have on you. That's what I would think, right? to just think he did it for no reason. But we'll find out. Maybe it will show that Redacted Jeff was just making it rain. He was just giving him millions of dollars in order to do this. But I've seen nothing of the sort quite yet. And it's funny. It's funny how they'll report on this, but they won't report on anything else. Like, I haven't seen Fox talk about Peter Attia. Peter Attia actually didn't resign. I don't know if you know who that is. He worked for CBS. He was on the Rogan's podcast at least like 10 times over the years. And he said, Redacted Jeff had such an outrageous life. He's like, you have such an outrageous life. And it's just like, he said like something like, it's a shame that I can't tell anybody about it. You know, like, it's wild, you know, what the stuff you do, the stuff that we do, but I can't tell anybody about it. He decided he wasn't gonna actually resign from CBS, and actually later today, because there was so much backlash from the people saying, you know, this guy is a dirtbag, even if he says he's not, that he actually was forced to resign. So that's the one thing that went on, but I haven't heard any major media talk about it at all.
Breaking news, British police have arrested former UK ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, in a misconduct probe stemming from his ties to Epstein. Police are investigating Mandelson over documents suggesting he passed sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein a decade and a half ago. He does not face any allegations of sexual assault at this point that we know of, just those other charges of misconduct in office. Senior correspondent Benjamin Hall. Ben.
Yeah, hi, Harrison. Look, this has been moving very quickly in the UK over the last few days. You remember Prince Andrew was arrested on Thursday for potentially releasing sensitive documents to Jeffrey Epstein.
So they're basically just going to say everything that I said. But I just played that because it was like, it's weird that they're reporting on that, but not on, like, you know, like, have they talked about Bill Gates? What happened with him? I don't know. I don't watch Fox every day, but it seems like they haven't. It seems like that'd be a pretty big story. We all would have saw it, but it seems like that's just on the fringes talking about those guys. Massey actually had this to say. He's talking about the names because there's many people, Balix and other people who are calling him out. Somehow it is not the DOJ's fault. It is not Pam's fault. It's not Cash's fault. Not even RoboCop Bongino. It's not any of their faults. It's actually Massey's fault for what's going on when it comes to Redacted Jeff. So he had this to say in regards to the names on the list.
Why haven't you released the names? You said you were going to release the names.
I got some of these questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have the names. I never had the names, never claimed to have the names. The survivors have the names. And what I did was to offer to read those names on the floor of the House if we couldn't get the government to release them. That wasn't the be all end all. That's an inducement to the government to say, look, at the end of all of this, we are eventually going to get these names out, but we're going to make you release them. And so the other reason not to release, let's say we've got 20 names, is there's probably 100, right? And if we release the 20, they could release the 20 documents that name those 20 people and keep 80 documents secret. As long as there are some names that the survivors have that the DOJ hasn't released, then they got to keep doing releases. Why haven't you?
Interesting. Very interesting. So that's his thinking on why they haven't released the names. This is the first time I've heard this logic. Nancy Mace just basically said she doesn't want to get sued. She said she saw all the names, which I find interesting. So Nancy says she saw all the names in all of the docs, but Massey says he does not have the names. So that's weird. Why would one have them and one not? Doesn't really make sense to me. At the end of the day, you know, as much as I think Massey's pretty cool with what he's willing to speak on, what he's willing to talk about, seems like they're all a part of the game, you know? They're all a part of the game, and it doesn't seem like much is going to be done, especially with this announcement here. Nancy Mace says the DOJ shut down all investigations and will not pursue any future arrests, adding that the reason for no further investigation is because they don't want to expose that he was an intel asset. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's what Nancy Mace says. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know where she's getting that information. I guess she gets all her information from the government, obviously. But I guess that's just how it's happening. They're shutting it all down. A thing that could help worldwide, could actually help countries worldwide. Every country could be helped by this, you know? They're just saying, nah, we'll just shut it down. There's another 3 million documents, you know? I already talked about Rogan. And how he only mentioned that Lawrence Krauss was trying to court him into meeting Redacted Jeff. He only came out with that in his interview with Cheryl Hines, RFK's wife. He only came out with that then, but he's been in so many situations throughout the years on his pod where Redacted Jeff has come up, and he has never, ever said that was going on, ever. He's never talked about that, not even once. But now that it's out and it's in the files and you can search it, then he comes out with it. I thought that sucked. I was like, damn it. Stop hoodwinking me. Oh, man. Someone said, what's the name of the funny channel making coach videos? That is Fleet. ADFLEET. You will see a little pinkish logo. That's what you'll see. It is Fleet. It is Fleet who is making those videos. Was talking to Fleet recently. I'm like, man, we got to do something. I really want to make a full length, like, cartoon that's like 6 seasons. Like, I really want, not like 30-minute episodes. I'm thinking like 10-minute episodes, and like make it for seasons and seasons. I really want to do that. So I have to delegate more of what I do, which is where Lance comes in. Lance is like my Jamie. He's absolutely incredible. So I have to show him how to do some more stuff, and then possibly get another team member. And then I have to have freedom to actually do that, to actually make that cartoon into existence. But I don't even know what that looks like yet, but it'll definitely call out everything that's going on in society. That's for sure. Rokana. Today, the U.S. Lord Mendelsohn. He was a lord. Geez, they throw around those titles pretty freely over there. Here, let's see what he has to say really quick. He is the other side of Massey, and they made this effort together.
Today, Great Britain arrested Lord Mendelsohn because of his alleged ties to Epstein. Isn't it ironic that Thomas Massey and I forced the release of the Epstein files here in the United States of America, but there's no action in America, but action everywhere else in the world? Former Prince Andrew is being investigated and prosecuted in Britain. In Norway, they are investigating and prosecuting a former prime minister. In France, they are investigating and prosecuting government officials and business leaders. But nothing here in the United States of America. Our FBI Director, Kash Patel, flew for the Olympics to Italy, drinking with our hockey team. Our Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is hurling insults to members of Congress. But they've forgotten about the survivors, the thousands of survivors who just want justice. Haley Robeson just wants justice. That's why I'm inviting her as my guest tomorrow at the State of the Union. She'll be speaking not just for herself, but for the thousands of survivors. She's a former Trump voter. It's not about politics. It's about making sure we're prosecuting those men who abused these young girls and who committed horrific crimes. I want justice here in the United States of America. It is time for the FBI and the Department of Justice to begin investigations and prosecutions.
He said that yesterday. No, case closed, sir. No. You misunderstand. You're asking for us to investigate more. It's actually case closed. It's actually done. You came a little too late. It's actually closed completely. We're not giving out any more files. You got the wrong memo. It's actually case closed. The other 3 million? No, we're keeping those. We're shredding them, actually. I don't know. Who's going to know? Yeah, is this very, very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sad stuff going on with that whole thing. But let's get into a little more. Actually, you know what? Really quick, I'll just talk about Ballix, because Ballix, funny enough, was actually going after Massey. He was like, Massey, he's like, you're a protector. You're protecting these people. You're protecting these people on the list. but he won't go at the admin at all. That's how much of a shill this guy's become. So he's not going at the admin. He's blaming Massey completely. Then the next day he goes, oh, well, you know, I never attacked Massey. I'm telling you, this guy's just so erratic. I just wanted to bring this up quickly. He's so erratic. I mean, just, you know, dive bar regular energy. That's exactly what this guy has. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just such a big tab, and he pays it every week, and it's always $600, sometimes $7 if he's feeling real frisky on a Friday. Always. I mean, he's just ridiculous. Attacks Massey, just like he did with Candace. Attacks Massey, says this guy's, you're protecting those, you're the pet protector, you're doing all this stuff. And then the next day he's like, well, I never attacked him. The next day. I mean, just so weird. It's getting so weird. Apparently, you know, moving on here. Yeah, in Ballix is the saddest one. It's the saddest one because I don't think you can ever climb up from that, ever. I think that's it. Someone said Barron is fine as hell. That's incredible. Jesus, guys. Don't ever take your eye off Ballix tones. Yeah, I know. I mean, I bring it up because you have to see how far he's fallen. And you have to see what he actually is. It's like he's having meetings, secret meetings with somebody who works for the Pentagon. He's hanging out with all these military intel guys. And we're supposed to believe that he's like the premier voice on independent media. Like it's so crazy. It's such a crazy notion to think that about him. It's nuts. I mean, we're talking about who's the most independent. Like maybe it's the people who don't talk to anybody who's in the admin or in the gov in general. Like maybe that's it. I don't know. But obviously after time, you're going to build up your sources. I get it. But it's like you're just chilling. You're just chilling. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't even consider Tucker like independent media. I think he's a journalist who has his own company, but I mean, he does have a business partner. I don't know what his business partner's politics are or what his business partner's agenda is or anything like that. I don't know the guy. I've seen a picture of the guy one time. I know he fronted the whole stack of money that Tucker needed in order to start the company, and they did it together, but I don't know the guy. I don't know. Anyway, Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker Carlson apparently has gone to the White House. And of course, the Philadelphian supporters are pissed that he went to the White House. Why are they so pissed? Because Tucker just talked about how he was detained in Philadelphia. People didn't like that he spoke about it. They tried to call him a liar. They have not proven that he lied. Mike Huckabee, who is supposed to represent an American. He's supposed to be the guy who's supposed to speak on behalf of Americans when they go to that country. Instead of doing that for Tucker, he just went along with whatever the Philadelphian government had to say, which is crazy. Just a sad, crazy thing to do. So that happened. Anyway, now they're mad because Tucker has been seen going to the White House. They feel like Tucker is leaking the fact that he goes to the White House. Now, what I think is that Tucker is taking the place of Charlie Kirk. Now, if you don't know, Charlie Kirk used to go to the White House, he would talk to Prez Orange. He would talk to him pretty much 2 times a week, every single week. Reports claim that Tucker is urging him not to hit Iran, unverified. Could someone's wishful thinking or an actual meeting no one's confirmed yet? Well, it's 100% confirmed that he went to the White House. And I would think with how vocal Tucker has been, how vocal Charlie was, and how close that those two people were, that Tucker is actually going there to ask the president not to do that with Iran, to stay away from that whole thing. The same way that Charlie had to combat the Emperor of Philadelphia, who's on one side of now Prez's shoulder, and he had to be on the other side. And Charlie actually won that dispute, that back and forth. I think Tucker is doing the exact same thing. It would make perfect sense. I think also Tucker revealed that the Emperor of Philadelphia actually has threatened 2 of his family members. Obviously, Tucker was very pissed about that. The Emperor of Philadelphia would not talk to him about it. They couldn't get on common ground at all because he refused to speak to him. There could be something like that to the meeting as well. But all in all, I think he is trying to talk down that whole message. And I think he should. I think that doesn't need to happen. I think Charlie didn't want that to happen. And now all the people who love Charlie are just acting like that, like Charlie never had a problem with Iran, getting into war with Iran. Charlie had a big problem with it, and he made it very vocal to Prez Orange. He always did. And again, I think Tucker is doing the exact same thing. Good for him. I want to see Tucker run, man. I do. I want to see Tucker run. You know, I think he'd be good. You know, they all get ate up by the swamp, though. You know, like that's what I thought about Prez Orange, right? They all get eaten up. You know, they get swallowed up by that swamp. You know, something always happens. So it could just be like a clear threat. Like somebody could just sit down with like an M16 and just be like, listen, we'll do it to you. Okay. You're just going to do what we say. Okay. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe it's just very clear cut that way. I don't know. But it seems to happen to every single president who thinks that they're going to cause some change. Obama's like, I'm going to do things for black people. And they're like, no, you're not. He's like, oh, no? They're like, no. He's like, okay. Can I have a bunch of drone strikes? They're like, yeah, you can do drone strikes. He's like, all right, I'll do that instead. Can I wear a tan suit? They're like, all right, once. Don't forget the drone strikes, though. He's like, oh, I won't. Don't worry about it. Yeah, something always happens. Anyways, guys, let's get into these super chats. What is going on with everybody right now? I got to keep the chat on this phone. This is what I always try to do. Keep the chat on this phone, and then I have to move over to the super chats on the other phone. There you go. 10,000 in the chats. I know Black Poppy. I saw 11,000 in the chat at one point. I know Black Poppy. Let's get into it, guys. Let's jump into these super duper chats. I get it real close. Getting kirked. Yeah, exactly, right? Like that's what ends up happening. None of them want that to happen to them, so they veer away from it all. Understandably. Like I can't hate on anybody for not wanting that to happen to them. Cole X Train. Hit that like button, by the way, guys. I think the wife set like a 6,000 like goal today. Hit that like. Betty Booty. Betty Booty, welcome to the Mint Gang. Dax. Gary is secretly working for Daxter Intel apparatus. He's doing a good job. We just gave him a promotion, actually. Don't tell anyone. We're trying to get Graham Allen next. Let me tell you something. You're recruiting the wrong people, okay? Actually, you know what? Those would be the people to recruit. It'd be easy enough, you know? It'd be easy enough to get those guys. And then you'd be like, okay, we got you. You know, now do the work for us. They're like that, too. I bet you could definitely get Graham Allen to be like, I actually support what Candace has to say. He just has to be told by the right people. Like, hey, you know, this is what we're saying now. Candace is great. She's great? Well, I mean, you know, this Holy Spirit came to me yesterday, and if I'm a real Christian, I have to admit Candace Owens is the best thing since sliced bread. 100%. You could get him to do that. No problem. You could get him to do that. So good. Thank you for recruiting those two. You're gonna recruit Graham next? Well, have fun. I was late, Poppy. Some guy on the web. Cash Shady. Mint funds. Thank you so much for the mints. Alpha Jerk. Boyer would make a perfect Larry at the Regal Beagle. Oh my gosh. Three's Company, man. What a show. They don't make shows like that anymore. Keith Tank. They couldn't make shows like that anymore. Plot twist, when Erika said, I forgive him, she meant Charlie for turning his back on Philly, not Tyler. Oh my gosh. Jeez, Keith. That's hilarious, though. That's hilarious. Says nothing. Love the show. Can't wait to see what she has. Thank you. Beach bum. So Graham's using his position in the admin to attack U.S. citizens. Isn't that interesting? You know, it's almost like he's been cleared to do it, right? Interesting the way that works. Any thoughts on Erika being drunk at high school in Chicago? I think I just watched a video about that. I think it's she has like her hair up. It's like in a bun, but then it's long as well. And she's wearing like a plaid and she's wearing tights and like a coat. Yeah, I saw that video. The audio was terrible. So I can't tell if she was drunk by the audio. The audio was, I think Mr. Let Go or Let It Go and Dax were watching it. Or Dax, sorry. Danks were watching it. And the audio was so bad. I was just like, and I don't think it's their fault. I think it's just that's what the clip gave them. I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if she was actually drunk. I mean, I have no idea. That would be fun. That'd be a fun clip for sure. You know, you're in Chicago, just chilling, you know, you hit the bar, you forget that you have a speaking engagement. You're at the bar, you're knee deep in it already. You're knee deep in the suds. And then they say, hey, are you coming? You're on in 10. And you go, oh my gosh, guys, we're on in 10. And you just say, Harpole, hit me with the mints. Harpole hits you with a bunch of mints. You put the mints in your mouth. You're walking over there. You're swishing the mints around. And you're just hoping you can hold it together. Hey, it happens to the best of us, you know? So maybe. You know, one time I was doing a video. I do video and audio. I was filming a stand-up set for somebody, right? Speaking to what Erika went through. I was filming a stand-up set for someone. So before I get there, I go, oh man, this is back when I used to smoke and I used to partake. So I go get these edibles, right? And I like these 5 milligram edibles. I get them. I'm like, okay, I got them, you know, and I take one. Okay. And I'm good. And I'm filming and I'm like, wow, I'm not good. You know, this is weird. This keeps getting more and more and more. And I can't hold myself still for some reason. This is just cannabis. But I'm like, what is going on right now? So I look down at the pack and instead of 5 milligrams, it says 50. And I go, well, that's different. That's different. This is going to be terrible. And I had to just endure through it for like 2.5 hours. I'm bobbing and I swear I'm bobbing and weaving like this. Like I'm going back and forth just like this. It was the worst thing ever. So if Erika experienced anything like that, I get it. It was a rough night for me. That was before I got saved. Before I got sober. I was just doing dumb stuff, you know? Hilarious. Candace Owens and team are 4 people. And you know what? Go effing look and find out what we all know. It's just Candace, a microphone, and the truth. There you go. That is from Jenna Smith. Yeah, 100%. It's interesting what a small crew they have, but that seems to be the best. Tucker has a very small crew. Joe Rogan has a very small crew, notoriously. Candace, like it's just the small crews usually do pretty well. You know, I always say when it comes to companies, you don't want to become a yacht. You don't want to become the Titanic. You want to become like a cigar boat. A cigar boat, if they need to turn, they just turn. Right? There's a couple people on there. You can't fit too many people on a cigar boat. You're just moving back and forth wherever you need to go. If you need to pivot, this, that, you can just do it. If you're a yacht, you got to yell to somebody. You got to say, okay, we're going to be doing this. It's a whole thing just to turn around, just to veer another way before you hit something. It's so with your company, you don't really want to become a yacht, you know, unless it's going to make you a billionaire. Then you go ahead and become a yacht, you know. Fleet, thank you for the membership. Kinetic KD, Bro thought he was still talking in front of the mirror instead of in front of the mic. Which bro? Me? Because that's me all day. I don't know. Anyway. KC Belvins. Belvins? KC Belvins? Does anyone else think the cast of Twilight? Think of the cast of Twilight with Turning Point USA. Erika would be Rose. Mikey is Jasper. There's more characters, but I won't bore you, Coach. I don't know anything about Twilight. Okay? I have not got there yet because my wife is actually, she seems like she's not one of the ladies that likes Twilight. If she liked it, maybe I would have to watch it. My wife is more Harry Potter. My wife is itching for me to watch Harry Potter, all of the 19,000 movies of Harry Potter. Hi for Harpole, Price is King, says nothing again. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm going to have to, I'm probably going to be watching Harry Potter before I watch Twilight. I've never seen even one movie of Twilight. if I was, but just seeing the characters, I could definitely think out a little bit of a cast there. If I was Erika Kirk, I would instantly diarrhea'd the entire house after seeing the trailer. Jeez, the entire house? That means you'd have to actually actively be going. You would pull down your pants and start running around the entire house, just releasing on all the walls and floors. Coco, what is the matter with you? You gotta relax. Okay, Coco, if that ever happens to you, just go to the toilet. You gotta calm down. The whole house? You'd have to go upstairs. You'd have to run to the basement if you got it. You'd have to go around there. Then you'd have to run up the stairs, the living room, everything. Then you're upstairs, all the bedrooms. Coco, you don't have to do that. Jeez, stop, drop, and roll, if anything. Says nothing, but I'll try and pronounce his name. Dinquina. I don't know. I tried. Cody, I'm going to get on X and speak against him there as well. I just can't stand by and do nothing. I know what he doesn't want people to know. All right, that's Cody. And if you don't know, Cody's talking about Graham Allen there. Cody definitely doesn't like Graham Allen, period. There's a whole video that Cody has released. Someone told me it was 2 hours. I didn't get to watch the video, Cody. I thought that the video was what you actually said to me, because you said, you're like, should I make you a video? I thought the video was just you pretty much putting into words on video what you had already said to me. Then the person that you talked to, Joel, I think, Joel or Theo, they told me, they're like, no, this is actually a whole long video. So I do have to sit down and watch it. They said that you go through your backstory and whatnot. And then you talk about Graham and what he's done. So, I'll have to actually listen to that, but, shout out to you and thank you for making the video. One of them said that the backstory was heartbreaking. So, I hope you're all right, even though those things have happened to you. Brit Park City, I hope someone can expose which influencers are getting paid to slander and how that all works. It's obvious to us, but they deny it. Expose them. Well, Jimmy Dore did make that video. I can't remember. It was one of his clips. He did make a video where he talked about the way it works with bounties. Now, that is one way it works, where there is a bounty and everybody who wants to be a part of that bounty just kind of grabs on and they say, okay, I'm going to say the thing I have to say. I get paid a certain amount of money. I don't know that that's happening with Candace, but it is a thing that happens quite a bit, actually. So it could be that. And also it could just be straight up payment. Like, hey, you have this platform. We need you to say XYZ. We need you to talk about this. Pretty straightforward. I've gotten offers like that. I got an offer like that from forget what the company's called, but it was about Ukraine. They were offering me a lot of money too. But I always think everything's fake. I'm like, you don't value my opinion. You're lying. But they were offering me a bunch of money to say good things about Ukraine. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I wasn't talking about it. It just didn't make sense to do. I was like, why am I doing that? I don't know. Like, no. Like, it just seemed weird. It seemed weird. And if you guys were watching, it would be weird to you because it's weird to me. And it would be inauthentic. And it just didn't make sense. Susanna Rosanna Diana? Susanna Rosanna Diana? I hope that's how you say it. I hope that's your full name. I hope that's your full first name. That would be remarkable. I bet Erika is a little nervous that they are going to use this. Candace is trying to get her killed rumor to take her out and blame it. Ooh, wow. We got a 5D chess player here, ladies and gentlemen. We got someone playing 5D chess right now. And that is not a crazy thing. That is really not a crazy thing. You have all of these people, a lot of them kind of faceless accounts, bunch of them ex-military, quote unquote, not even ex, really. still active, working alongside agencies, and they're all saying that same thing. Oh, wow, you're going to get her hurt. You're going to get her hurt. That's so true. That's so true. And then they would be able to point it directly at Candace and be like, well, it was just her crazy people. Exactly what they did with Charlie. Oh, man, it was that furry guy. Jeez, man, you know how that is. Oh, man. Yeah, that guy did it to him. Yeah, you're on to something there. 100%. Kabapple Jack. Word is Erika is also in DR. She reported she was told to her face, I know black, and realized she wouldn't be able to Mortal Kombat Ultra their fabrics. Erika, she's getting confused in DR. Bunch of black people like, I know black. I know black. She gets all confused. Her Mortal Kombat Ultra starts wigging out. Just clearly black people just looking at her say, hey, I know black. Hey, I know black. Hey, señora, hey, I know black. Gringo, no negro, nunca. And she's just like, I don't understand. I think they look black. And Stacy's like, calm down. She's like, they look black, but they're not black. So they're white? Why am I seeing black? Just wigs out, you know? Thank you for that. Crabapple. DR meaning Dominican Republic. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not dumb. Okay, I know what DR is. Okay, you don't have to explain that part. Come on. Thank you. You never know. I might have. Check out Sharon Tate wiki, similar to Erika Beginnings. Interesting. I will check that out. It's hilarious to me that Candace is now demonic, but when she was canceled originally for saying Christ is king. Yeah, you know, it's weird. It's weird how it works, you know? It's just mental gymnastics. They bend and twist it any way they can. JX2938. Curious if Candace ever responded to Matt Walsh's call for her to stop a few months ago. Wondering if you think he really believes the slop. No, I think Matt Walsh has actually said publicly, or maybe somebody said it about him. I shouldn't say that. Maybe somebody said it about him. But he has 6 kids, and he's just like, he's a family man, and he's a company man. And it's like, he's in a pretty good situation. He's pretty much the biggest person on the Daily Wire. I don't think there's any view botting. I don't think there's any fake likes when it comes to Matt Walsh. People really do like Matt Walsh. They like his show a lot for the most part. And he's in a situation where it's like he can just kind of sit there and just do his show and get paid an exorbitant amount of money. He's getting paid a lot of money to do that show. And they're never going to get rid of him because he's the, people will say Ben Shapiro's the flagship show, but it's Matt. Matt has taken over. He's the biggest show. So, yeah, I don't know. Does he believe it? Probably not. But is he being told to say like, hey, you should tell her to stop? Yeah, probably. I mean, if they're trying to do it to people they don't even know with platforms, what do you think they're saying to Matt? Yeah, I don't know. Matt keeps saying that he's indifferent on certain things, but at a certain point, they're like, okay, but you have to at least say this. And, you get into a position in that media apparatus where you're kind of like, you're surrounded by everyone saying she's demonic, and you're kind of going like, well, I do want to be a good person, and I am getting pressured, and be good for my work, and I don't want to get fired. Like, he's a regular guy at the same time, right? So he's like weighing all these things out, and he's like, all right, whatever. I'll say whatever to Candace. Candace might have reached out to him privately because they're friends. That event that's going on, that Catholic event, both of them are set to speak on the same stage. So I would think Candace reached out to him privately. She seems to really, really like Matt Walsh. She never has anything bad to say about him. So if anything, reached out privately, or she just ignored it because she's like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I know why you're doing that. Whatever. I don't care. She's probably not insulted. It probably takes a lot to insult Candace Owens. Heads up, Erika Kirk is going on a Belfast tour to bring teens into Turning Point. Coach, compare views between Candace Owens and Graham Allen 6 months ago to now. How pathetic his were, please. Oh, yeah, for sure. Psst. He's unknown. Like, what are we talking about? He's one of these people who's placed on the fringes, and then he activates when he's told to activate. But I didn't know she's going on a Belfast tour. But I guess they said that they had a lot of chapter requests in high schools. So it's probably geared towards that. Let's hope there's no inappropriate conversations. You know, hopefully she's learned not to exchange numbers with any of them. You know what I mean? Hopefully that doesn't happen. That'd be really smart to not do that. But we'll see. Sparky 6086 Colin, remember, standards for special forces dropped to nothing. That's true. I did hear that. When Donald Rumsfeld expanded them, like McNamara's morons in Vietnam, Gary and Graham are Rumsfeld. That's their band name, the Rumsfeld R words. That's their. That's funny. Yeah, you're right. The standards did drop. Even Mitch was talking about that. Mitch actually said that to Gary, because Mitch joined when the standards were high and Gary joined when the standards were low. And Mitch Snow, I'm talking about, he commented on that in that conversation that they had on the phone. He was like, oh, you're one of those guys. You know, he's like dumb as nails. He said something like that, like dumb as a brick or something like that. Because he was like, yeah, the standards dropped off quite a bit. Yeah, you're right. That is true. If someone doesn't remember, I was saying that, you know, to be an operator, you can't be completely, you have to have some wits about you. And I guess not. I guess you just have to be programmable. That is a big part of it. You have to be a little bit of a sponge, you know? And I think those two would hit that category pretty on the head there. KC, once again, if we are still going with the Twilight fan fiction, Graham is James, of course. Candace is Bella. Okay, I'm really done now. I have to actually, maybe my wife does know about Twilight. I have to ask her about that now. Now I have to actually check it out. Because I love doing fan fiction stuff like that and thinking about which character is which. I love that. Standards for this. Did you write this again? Am I tripping out? Am I okay? No, you wrote this again. Standards for special forces and U.S. military in general were much higher when Mitch Snow entered. Oh, yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying. Entered the Army and Special Forces. Then when Gary and Graham went, yeah, 100%. You're 100% right about that. Oh gosh, guys, Jamie's here. Oh gosh, Jamie's in the house, guys. Playa. Yo, coach, you are doing great. Love your show. Thank you so much, Jamie. Really appreciate you. You know, Jamie's getting warmed up. You know, Jamie gets warmed up every once in a while and just really, you know. I don't know this for a fact, but coach walks around his house randomly saying, I know Black Poppy nonstop, and his wife is fed up. No. She's fine with it. I do walk around saying that. I will say that every once in a while, just out of nowhere. You're 100% right. It's just out of nowhere. How was the DACA point yesterday? Was that yesterday? I don't even know if it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't know. They're all the same pretty much. Especially that, like, they're like 10, they're weird. They're weird. They're like 10 minutes. It's weird. It's very weird. 9.4K watching. Now it's 9.8. It was 11 at some point. If you don't smash that like, you're a Turning Point bot. That's like some of Graham tactics. We're using Graham tactics. If you don't smash that like button, well, you're just not a real Christian. Not a real Christian and just demonic and evil. Everybody knows it. And for those of you that have your own platforms and you're not smashing the like button, you should be ashamed of yourself. You were never Coach's real friend to begin with, you know? Such gross, slimy tactics. Says nothing. This is just a fly on the wall. I appreciate you. Tish Myers. So where's the widow's battle cry? Or was it stop? That was the battle cry. Stop! Thank you, Coach. I adore you, Baron, Candace, and Lionel. It's crazy people aren't smart enough to stop watching Graham Allen. He's insufferable to listen to. Plus, he's a liar. Justice for Charlie Kirk. Yeah, you know, he does have that energy. He does have that energy about him. No black, nunca. That's so funny. Fleet, holler, like the stream. Yes, please like the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Tish, is this Tish again? Miss Myers? So where's the widow battle? Am I tripping out? Did you just say this? So where's the widow battle cry? I'll read it all again. I'm just like Gary. Oh, yes, if it's there, I gotta read it. So where's the widow's battle cry, or was it stop? Thank you, Coach. I adore you, Candace, Barron, and Lionel, but you're much better looking than Barron. I don't know why she said that this time. It's crazy people aren't smart enough to stop watching Graham Allen. He's insufferable to listen to. Plus, he's a liar. Justice for Charlie Kirk. Thank you so much. Let's keep going here. I don't know why she threw that jab in about Barron. That was uncalled for. I mean, I appreciate it, but just uncalled for. BB Bots got a podcast pointed out that BB Gots a podcast pointed out that, Dee Dee, I think you're talking about Dee Dee. Dee Dee has a podcast. Dee Dee's got a podcast. Pointed out that Benjamin received a key to the White House from the Prez 2020. Also, I'd like to say thanks for keeping it fun. Yeah, I saw that. Ian actually reposted that, and he was just like, what the F is this? He was like, what is this? Yeah, I saw that. It happened in 2020. He got a key, and that's why he visits the White House so much. Everybody's wondering. It's like, wow, 7 times, 8 times, 10 times? Why so much? It's because he has a key. He just lets himself in. That's how it works, I guess. I don't know. He just comes in whenever he wants. Almost 10,000 in the chat. Not even 3,000 likes. Don't be a Turning Point bot. Yes, please. We are trying to get to 6,000. Help us out here, folks. My mom read The Shining to us at bedtime. Jeez. Good God. Report that lady. Come on. That's wild. The Shining? Good Lord. That is hilarious. To read it too. Man. Okay. Well, see what I mean? It wasn't just my mom letting things like that happen. There's other moms out there just letting it rip. You got to get them used to things. You don't want to be the only kid on the playground that doesn't know the Shining quotes, right? I don't want to be the only kid that doesn't know who Andy Dufresne is. What are we talking about? Anyway, Jenna Nicole Petite, have you seen the clips of Balak's tones saying he comes from a family? Yup. I have 2 clips I'd love to show. Yeah, if you post them on X and tag me. That way I can repost them and I can show them on the show. But possibly show them on the show. But yeah, if you watch his interview that he did with Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo, you will see he says all sorts of things like that. He's like, oh, my father was really close with Werner von Braun. They were really good friends. I saw him as a kid. All these intel people, I was always surrounded by them as a kid. He says all of this stuff all the time. And he goes really deep into it in that podcast. So yeah, I believe you 100% that there's clips of him saying stuff like that. I mean, and then that's the guy. That's the guy we're all supposed to believe. You got to think about when he's right about stuff. What is it? Is it actually know-how that he's exhibiting, or is there somebody on the inside that's telling him? Is it planned for him to know things? That's what it seems like to me. Now that I see him in this different lights. We already hit that 6,000. In my top 5 of the day to listen to and enjoy: Morning Treadmill, Barron's My Evening Walk Entertainment. Love you guys. Chunky Monkey. There you go. That's great. I have to get on the treadmill. After I got sick, I stopped hitting the treadmill. I got to get on the treadmill, do my 10,000 steps. It's so hard to do that. I guess I got to walk outside. It's much better to do that. Because they rejected Jesus, I named the eyebrow people in the Bible. The eyebrow people, ladies and gentlemen. Barron is amazing for that. That's actually a solid thing to like the eyebrow people. Coach, you're such a light. Thank you for your channel. Brothers and sisters, remember, Christ said to love your enemies. Pray for them. Jesus is king. Love to you all. That is a hard thing to think about. You know, they say to that I was just talking about that with my wife. I think we were reading our devotionals, and I brought up the fact that when I do talk about Graham, I don't think I did it today, but when I talk about, I definitely didn't do it with Gary today. I was laughing way too much, but I try to say to them, hey, they're a great guy. Like, I try to always finish it with like, I'm sure they're a great guy. And it's like a joke, but it's also like a acknowledgement that no matter how ridiculous they are being, or how bad or how deceitful they're being, there is some kind of good in them, I'm sure, even though I don't see it. So I don't quite pray for them. But, you know, I do try and acknowledge that there's some good. There must be some kind of good in there. You can pronounce words wrong, still read books. Yeah, I'm living proof of that. Duchess of Camelot, Coach, do you think Tyler was Philly or just a patsy with no ties? I can't tell. I can't tell with that guy. I mean, you can't tell. You don't know what his parents are at all. You don't know what they are, what they do. They were part of the church, so maybe that tells us that he's not Philly at all. But I mean, oh, there's the wife just throwing memberships around. Let's see who gets them. Let us know if you got one. So you can't really tell what he is or anything like that. I don't know. I have no idea. He could be. I mean, can I say he looks like it? Not really. I can't really say he looks like that. Could he have ties too? That's possible. I don't fully know that. I've looked into him quite a bit. I think we all have. I feel like if there were ties, we would have found them by now, but maybe not. It's hard to tell. I do know the school that he went to was like a highly, I wouldn't say an intel school, but adjacent to that. The church that he came from also, you know, not tied to intel, but adjacent, you know, used for recruiting quite a bit. It's hard to tell what he is, you know. I think he's a Mortal Kombat Ultra patient. That's what I think. I think that's what he has going on. And I think he might even have memories of him being guilty, even if he's not. I think he goes really deep with what's going on with him, you know, especially when people reveal that there's like this 1,000-yard stare with him, like the lights on, but nobody's home kind of thing. We'll have to see. We'll have to let that case keep playing out. I don't know when the next trial is or the next hearing. Great show, great energy. Just wanted to show you some love. God bless. Thank you so much, Real Bays. Real Bays, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Kelly MCT1, Coach. It's not the right. This is God's way of separating the wheat from the chaff. I've never seen that written. Wheat from the chaff? I've never seen that written before. That makes sense if that's how chaff is written. Okay, now we know who's who. Thank you. My cheeks hurt from smiling. But stop calling Baron old. He's sensitive about it. Oh, come on. You know, funny enough, he's only 5 years older than me. I was shocked. Not shocked by how he looks or anything. How many kids he has. I'm gonna have 2, right? He's still 6 ahead. How can I ever catch up? You know? It's wild. I wish I had kids that young, man. I wish I did. But they wouldn't have been with my wife, my now wife, right? So I wish we met when we were younger and we just started pumping out kids, you know? Such a great thing, you know? He's gonna be a very interesting grandfather. And that could happen soon. That could happen in the next 5 years for him. You never know. He might become a grandfather. It's incredible. I don't know, man. I love that. I'm about 1 hour behind, but isn't Grandma fed? No, you're 1 hour ahead if you're already saying that. Will he be using his DOD clearance to dox? Where's the effing Constitution? This stuff is wild. Yeah, that's a good point too. You know, for the position that he's in, for him to be saying that, and when he actually could have access to the information, I mean, it's bad all around. He's not, like, this is exactly what this Cody guy is talking about, like loose morals. Like, that's what Cody said at the beginning when he first brought this up to us on these super chats. He was like, the guy has loose morals. That's a man who has loose morals. He knows he has this clearance. He knows he has this ability, and he's calling for his fans to find out who these people are too. That's bad, man. It was really, really bad. Dragonfly 13. He doesn't want Candace to tell everyone. He doesn't want Candace to tell everyone he is the leak at Turning Point, and allegedly, maybe perhaps, he didn't want to go along with all of it, but is scared for his life. Yeah, I've brought that up before too. There's something going on with that guy. He's in deep. He's in deep. End up on a thumbnail. Should end up on a shirt. There you go. Circle B. Oh my God, that Gary clip. Oh, I just think about it. I start laughing. I had to go and got to go over and troll his account. Oh my gosh, leave Gary alone. I love your show, Coach. Keeping it fresh and sparkly. That's so funny. Yeah, his just hilarious. That was a hilarious clip. Thank you so much, Gary. What did you say? What did you say? Unlike Baron? You taking shots at Baron? Who said that? You read chats unlike Baron. Oh, come on. Baron's doing what he does, you know? I have no idea what this is. I like it though. Thank you. Says nothing. Miss Star G-P, best friend, pew pew enthusiast, sent me a link to Gary's podcast to prove me wrong about Candace. Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk, people believe the craziest stuff. Well, yeah, of course, your friend is an enthusiast in that way, and he trusts Gary because Gary is, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the pew pews. He is an expert in that field. He really is. And that's why people believed what he had to say at the very beginning, because he was talking about ballistics and whatnot. Right. And now it's moved into something else. And he's trying to actually take this expertise that has nothing to do with what he's talking about now, like, you know, Candace Owens and stuff. And he's trying to take that same authority and talk as if he has this authority. And he doesn't. He doesn't. And people see through it. They see through it very well. He's not good at this. Finally, alive. Mace the Fallout Windu. We ask for the predators and these lizards give us aliens. Yeah, right. Funny the way that works. Who cares about aliens? Yeah, exactly. Dragonfly in CL's dream. Ooh, wait, in CL's dream to Candace Owens. He's there, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. He is the one that will tell her everything. He was showing her that Candace Owens and TB, Tyler Boyer, will be the ones to find the betrayal that is to the left. Wait. Are you talking about Tyler? Are you saying Tyler? Help me out here in the chat. Who is CL and who is TB? Who are they talking about here, guys? You guys know it all? You know? Anybody? I have no idea. Who is CL? So I'm like, it can't be Charlie Kirk, right? It can't be Candace Owens, right? Who is CL? Who is TB? Does anybody know? I don't know. You gotta hit us with some full names here, you know? I didn't read the whole thing. I don't know. You gotta. I didn't read the whole thing. I don't know. In my humble opinion, I believe Andrew is still the singing like a canary. Yes, I know I'm late. I was behind on the video. It's okay. Don't even worry. We always read them at the end. Don't even worry about it. Tinfoil Speedo would wreak havoc downstairs on me. I feel sorry for you. And that Speedo, you're brave. It wreaks havoc. It does. It separates the wheat from the chaff. You see what I did there? You guys see what I did there? Oh, come on. That was a good pun. Anyway, let's keep going. Thank you, Cody. Meant Andrew. Now I want to know what you're talking about. What do you mean you meant Andrew? You're making me think about things now. I don't know. Here, we'll check it out. But you meant Andrew. Thank you for clarifying. I don't give a damn. Can you do a whole show in the accent? I could, right? This is just I should have started my podcast with an accent. All you guys would just think I had an accent. That if I just had it like that from the very beginning. What's going on, everybody? It's Coach Colin. A little bit doodly 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 doo, whoop whoop. You know, because I'm British. Can't clap like this. You gotta clap like this if you're British. Not too loud, not too forceful. Just as mother always taught me. Anyway. CRLDR1, this Maxwell vid, I looked at the OG posters page and he had a few AI videos seeing Redacted Jeff. I forgot the name I'm supposed to edit it with. The video of her is definitely AI. Yeah, of course it's AI. Come on, man. Who's going to Quebec? Who's going to Quebec after they get out of jail? You ever been to Quebec? Come on. You're going to go to Canada, go to Alberta. What are we talking about here? BC you could go to, like if you do drugs, but you go to Alberta, then, you know, that's the place to be. Jen, 2692, Ohio Bill SB 87 proposes that no one is allowed to criticize Philadelphia. We need people to know, write the legislators and protest. Well, I can't call for people to protest. But definitely go and check that out. Yeah, we can never call for people to protest. That's not a thing that you're allowed to do, oddly enough. Just wanted to thank Mrs. Coach for the gift membership yesterday and Mr. Coach for keeping things light while continuing to inform with the truth. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I'm sure the wife saw that as well. Deidre Latina, that's how you pronounce that? Is that your first name? Latina 63. Really enjoying your clip site, and it was a great idea for us busy folks. Blessings to you, your wife, and babies. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, we wanted to make sure everybody got something, and it's working out really well. Lance is doing an incredible job with that channel. It's evolving far faster than we thought it would. So we thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button on that Clips channel. I'm sure they've been sharing it in the chat and whatnot, but yeah, it's definitely a good place to be for the short form Sallies. Oh, Jamie's back, guys. Coach, they're all in on it. All of them witches. All right, Jamie. All right. I hear you, Jamie. Cody Wilbur 68. If you look at Turning Point as the successor to Redacted Jeff, Web of Connection, a lot falls into place. I wonder if that's where Candace is going. I really do. I really think we're all being played a giant game of Clue. Do I blame you, Gary, or Project Constitution for me laughing in the grocery store like a what is that? A nuppin? A nuppin? Like a Muppet? I would assume this is the same as a Muppet. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, like, what could you do? I was actually crying. The way, the unintentional comedic timing of both Project Constitution and Gary, they have real chemistry. They have legit chemistry. They need to explore that. I'm telling you, man. Can't wait till they do. Maxwell's family in the south of France could be in USVI on, the Virgin Islands, on an island with new owner, quote unquote, or New Mexico Ranch, 13 different LLCs, 5 properties known. Really? Interesting. Tell me more about that. You have me on X, right? We have each other on X. Tell me more about that. New owner. Yeah, of course, there's a new owner of the ranch. 13 different LLCs, 5 properties. That's interesting. Mike Riley, do you think baby boy Mikey got Mortal Kombat Ultra'd when he disappeared for a while? Also, have you ever watched Mel Gibson movie Conspiracy Theory? No, I've never. He has a movie called that. I've never seen that before, ever. I've never heard of that before. You're talking about Mikey McCoy. Are you talking about the great and plentiful Mikey McCoy with the hips that don't stop? You think his mind could be controlled that way? You have no idea what self-mastery is about, sir. You have no idea. I doubt it. I doubt it. The all-powerful Mikey McCoy succumbing to something like Mortal Kombat Ultra? Maybe. You never know. You never know. You never know. I've never thought of that, though. I've never thought of him as one of those people. Roberta Bloom, petition to call for redacted Jeff. Godfrey from Game of Thrones. Godfrey from Game of Thrones. Who was Godfrey again? Since he's a lot more like that evil dude. Oh, who's Godfrey again? Oh, Joffrey. Yeah. Definitely. You do pot? No, I've been sober for almost, well, it'll be 4 years on October 23rd. It'll be 4 years. That would be the anniversary of when I got saved. I got saved, I got sober, and I started this podcast all in the same month. So the anniversary of the podcast is October 10th. When I got saved was in between the 23rd and the 10th, and then I got sober like a week after I got saved. So that's where I'm at with it. I haven't touched anything since. Just not interested in anything. I like my faith. I like being sober. I like my wife, my kids, and I like pizza. Can you talk about why you quit cannabis? Oh, another one. I gave it up for Lent, feeling good, but has been hard to let go forever and ever. Always go back to it. Yeah, I always used to go back to it. I started when I was about 11 or 12 years old. Because I was really sad and really depressed. So that's when I started. And I kept on doing it because when you're 11 and you do that, it's the best feeling ever. I mean, let's be honest, especially when you're just sad and you've like known sadness your whole life at that time. So I just, I've just been really, it's been attached to me since then. It got really bad, like addiction wise, by the time I was like 16. And it was just like a regular part of life by the time I was 20. It was just like what I did. Like, that's just how it was. But I always knew that I should stop. And then what actually brought me to stop, it was like little things throughout my life. I re-met my dad. I didn't know my dad all that well. I saw him when I was a kid. Then he disappeared for like 8 years. And all my siblings report the same thing. There was 8 years where he disappeared. Who knows what was happening at that time. But he disappears, he comes back, and I re-meet him, and he drinks a lot, and he smokes a lot. And I realized at that point, my mom at the time, she's, like I said, she's an ex-bodybuilder, works out every single day, up at 4 a.m., just working out, come home, go to work, like just real hard work ethic. Started a company, worked really hard, grew the company, just really, really hard worker, really street smart, really hard worker. And there's my dad, and he wasn't doing much. He was drinking a lot. And I realized that if I don't stop smoking, if I don't stop the thing I'm addicted to, I'm either going to become like him, or if I stop, I can become like her. And I had like this crossroads moment, and I realized I want to be more like her, because she was the best thing ever, and she takes care of us, all my brothers. So I was like, I should be like her. So even then I didn't quit, but it took time, this thing after thing, where I just realized I should quit, and I would try, and I would test, and I would do little things to see if I could actually stop doing it. And slowly, it just more and more, I would do this stuff. I would think about it. I would it's known to help with like addictions and stuff. I wouldn't advise that for anybody trying to get over anything, but I was doing that, and I was just trying to figure it out. And slowly, like into my 30s, as I met my wife, because I met my wife when I was 30, I was like, man, like, I started thinking about being a husband and being a father. And I was like, can I really be those things if I'm always doing this stuff? Like, can I actually become a good father and a good husband? And it was really important to be a good father because I didn't have my dad around, right? So I was like, it got to the point where, we were living together, and I was like, we're going to have kids. Like, we're planning on having kids. Like, am I going to have to fight to stay sober before I like pick my kid up from school? Like, am I going to be that kind of dad, or am I going to be the kind of dad that picks up my kid high from school and like endangers them like that? And then finally I tried to quit. I couldn't. And again, this is just thing after thing. So you have to, like, if I had to say anything, you have to stay consistently trying to, like, even if you fall back to it, you have to say, okay, like, okay, we try and quit again. And like, just keep on trying because you'll get it eventually. I tried to quit like at least a dozen times. And then the last time I tried to quit, couldn't do it, had my wife as a support system, gave her all my credit cards and everything, deleted anything where I could order it and have it brought to me online, and just gave her all my stuff and said, that's it. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it under my own will. And then I prayed for the first time ever in my life. I prayed. And the next thing you know, quitting was very easy. It was easier than it's ever been. I prayed to God for the first time. I used to always meditate like to the universe. I prayed to God, and it helped. It was weird. The first time I ever prayed, I said, I need help getting sober, and I need Christian friends around me. And out of nowhere, somebody messaged me and they were like, hey man, I have a Christian men's group. You want to be a part of it? I'm not even kidding. I didn't tell anybody. I just prayed. I didn't tell anybody what I prayed about. I didn't tell anybody that I prayed. I'd never done it before. So the next thing you know, I'm a part of a Christian men's group. I'm talking about quitting. There's other guys who have done harder drugs and they quit, all with the power of God. And the next thing you know, quitting was just easy. It was easy. It was odd. It was the easiest thing. That was it, you know? And again, if I fell back to it, I would just go, okay, it's been 10 days. I fell back to it. Let's go another 10 days. I messed up, but let's just keep going. And over the course of a month of doing that, it was just like, I'm done. And that was on October 23rd. That was the last time I ever used. And that's it. That's how I quit. That's why I quit. I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to be a better dad. I wanted to be the person that I am today. Let me tell you something. If I were to start smoking, all this stuff that we're doing right now, this fun, this laughs, all this stuff that we're doing, none of this happens. So, and also I had the decision of, I had 30 years, more than 30 years of just getting high. Actually, no, not 30 years, like 25 years of getting high. I was like, I've done it long enough. Like, I've seen the results of my life when I get high every day. I'm like, let's see what my life looks like when I don't. And believe me, it's tremendously better now. So if you're thinking about quitting, quit. Definitely quit. I'm still waiting for the allegedly, maybe, perhaps sweaters and tees. Please, coach, with your name down the sleeves. I don't know if anybody wants my name down the sleeves, but I'll definitely get on the allegedly, maybe, perhaps stuff. That misfit patriot profile picture is the stock photo for a conservative Candace hater. Yeah, 100%. I LOL every time I see it. Love you, coach. And my boys love your Bucky's hat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Shout out to the boys as well. Christy Hughes, Mint Daddy Gang. What's going on? Melanie Grace. Everyone like the live. Let's go. Thank you so much. To the grinder. The grinder. After the Andrew Colvette interview from BC last night, I think Andrew gave his phone to Candace Owens. Maybe he turned it all over. Maybe he already has. Maybe he did that a long time ago. And that's why Candace is so sure of what she's saying. Roseanne A. Diana. Okay. All right. That's Jamie, ladies and gentlemen. Don't question it when Jamie does this. Hey, could you have thought your DR was doctor? Nah. I never think DR was doctor. Come on. I'm always late to these because I never wake up in time. Hey, I'm in the same boat. I almost always never wake up in time. But I always watch them throughout my day. Thanks for the information. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching it. We also have the Clips channel if you need that. Eileen? It's Eileen. It has to be. Eileen. I feel that the world is currently existing somewhere between the Truman Show and Fallout. Thanks, coach, for being so funny. Yeah, that is where we're at, I think. We're in between it for sure. For sure. I mean, Truman Show for sure. That's what I think's going on. I mean, right up to the ending of Truman Show. I think there's definitely a door like that if we're willing to sail. If we're willing to sail with faith, there's definitely a door like that we'll bump into. Knowing my ex-wife, if she had offered a team to take me out and become CEO of my company with $250 million, she would sign. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Did more pop up? What just happened? Hold on. Let's go back. Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. Yeah, she would have offed you. Well, you never know. You never know. Maybe she'll run the company better. I mean, you see the great job Erika's doing, right? Crab Apple, I'm sorry. You have a lot of sayings. I know black is obviously the best. I literally say it randomly when I'm walking around at home. Of course, it's the best one. It is the best one. The wife throwing them out there. Thank you so much, honey. Coach, I tagged you in a video of my baby dancing to Fleet's music video. Coach, I tagged you in a video of my baby dancing to Fleet's music video. Well, I'll make sure to show it to Fleet. Fleet's gonna love that. Kind sir, pinky must be up when you're clapping. Like you got like that. you gotta like, you gotta. How do you even do? How do you clap with your pinky up? I can't even do that. But you're right. You're right. That would be proper etiquette. Proper etiquette. Let's keep going here. Everything Revolution August last year, I had a premonition about this Charlie event. I emailed Kim Iverson in August. Kim's not going to help you with that. You emailed the wrong person. Should have emailed Candace. Since then, he visited in 3 dreams. I need a podcaster to help get out / share. I have the receipts. This is deep, real stuff. You should contact Candace. I mean, you can contact me. You can message me and tell me the story, but you should tell Candace. Why wouldn't you tell Candace about that? You guys might have similar dreams to connect on. Love you, coach. I only catch bits and pieces. I'm at work. Crisis King. Keep going, Max. Yeah, definitely reach out to Candace with those dreams. You can reach out to me if you want. You know, I'll hear it. I'll hear what you have to say. Dragonfly, my daughter says, in a conspiracy theory freak. Oh, you're a conspiracy theories freak. So I tell her in the movie, it ends with Mel Gibson being right. Great movie. Oh, really? I wonder. I've never seen that movie. I wonder if I have and I don't remember. The Battle of Zama. Thank you for joining up. What happened? What happened here? Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hold, please. Hold, please. Listening to you pronounce usernames is one of the best parts of the show. Miss Cassidy. I don't mispronounce yours. Miss Cassidy. Mike Riley. Thanks for sharing your journey, bro. Been sober for hard, being sober from hard stuff since my girl got pregnant with our daughter. Now we have a 7-month-old daughter and boy due in May. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Great. That's how it should be. That's way more important. You know, way more important than being high. 100%. R. Myers, praying is how I got to 13 years DV marriage. What does that mean? DV. What is DV? Divorced marriage? DV. Driver vehicle marriage? Is that what it is? I think it's driver vehicle marriage. Told God I wasn't strong enough to leave. He could remove me. Could he remove me? The next day he was gone for good. Ah, true. How you got out of a... Oh, DV. That DV. Okay. Thank you for coding that like that. Sorry, I caught on though. And that's good. That's how it works sometimes, man. I'm telling you. It works like that sometimes. You ask for people to be gone. You know? You come humbly and ask for people to be gone and they erase. It's like it just happens, you know? Mike Riley, thanks for the info in your journey, being sober for hard stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Really. And stay sober, man. If you have those 2 kids, stay sober. Stay sober for them. Even if you want to do it, stay sober for them. Miguel Munez, thank you for joining the Mint Daddy gang. Hey, coach, can you give a shout to my mom? I feel like when you say, oh yeah, so you are from Ireland. Me mom. Caramel. Is that how you say it? Caramel. This is how I say it with my accent. I wonder how you say that name. How do you say that name? You probably say that name all types of crazy. She never misses an episode of you and Baron. Love from Ireland. Well, shout out to your mom. Your mom has the same name as you? That's cool. Yeah. Shout out to your mom. I love that this is the last one. Thank you so much. Shout out to your mom. Thank you so much. Carmel. What are you guys? Irish Italians? Huh? Carmel? Well, thank you so much for watching, Carmel. I assure you, Baron feels the exact same way. I will let him know. Please, I'll let him know that there is a lady that never misses the episode. What's your email? Just check out the website. Check out the website for the email. You will see it there. 100%. You will see it there, guys. Thank you guys so much. Everybody. Oh, I tried not to burp the whole time. I ended up burping. I can't believe it. Yeah, driver vehicle marriage. I couldn't tell. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm sorry. I got it in the end. And I'm glad you're out of that as well, to that lady. But guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, she meant Charlie Kirk. Okay, I thought she meant Charlie Kirk. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, 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 really appreciate it. You guys have no idea what it means to me when you guys show up like this and we all get to hang out and talk and do the super chats and have the laughs. It really, really is the best thing ever. Thank you guys so much for hitting that like button. Thank you for all those that are subscribing to the channel, the Clips channel. I truly appreciate it. I am just bombing the chat right now because I love to say bye to you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Candace is not going live today. If you guys missed that part of the live stream, she is going live on Wednesday. It will be the first of the Erika Kirk investigative series. I will bring you any updates when it comes to Candace, in case she goes off on anybody on X. But other than that, I am out of here. Thank you to the mod team. Thank you to the wife. And thank you to all the super chats. Thank you to all you guys. Really, really appreciate it.